informal settlements, rivers and drainage channels become the default disposal route. The resulting blockages do not merely reduce drainage efficiency, they cause localized flooding even in rainfall events of relatively moderate intensity. This renders the solid waste management crisis inseparable from the flood disaster crisis. Number F, over obstruction of groundwater and ground subsidence. The committee notes that expert findings that Nairobi chronic water supply shortages have driven proliferation of boreholes across the city, leading to the over-obstruction of groundwater at rates that have dramatically lowered the underground water table levels. The resulting aquifer compression, compounded by the weight of structures built above, have produced measurable ground-level subsidence in multiple parts of the city. This creates artificial topographic depressions where stormwater accumulates and cannot drain, significantly amplifying the impact of flooding in those areas. Number G, inadequate early warning and disaster preparedness mechanisms. The Kenya Meteorological Department issued a heavy rainfall advisory number 2 of 2026 and provided advance notice of the intense rainfall events of 4th to the 9th of March 2026. The committee finds that while the technical capacity of weather forecasting exists, the institutional framework mechanism for translating early warnings into timely and effective community-level preparedness and evacuation actions remains severely deficient. There is no functioning national framework that operationalizes the link between meteorological advisory and coordinated and preemptive action by NEMA, county government, and the emergency response agencies to protect communities known to be at an elevated risk. Mr. Speaker, sir, flooding which arises from degraded catchments, encroached riparian zones, collapsed drainage system, and absent enforcement is preventable. This committee will pursue this matter and will report back to the House in due course. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, the Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1 to make a statement regarding the oversight mechanisms by the Senate under Article 96 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, through its committees, the Senate, through its committees, exercises its oversight mandate over county governments in accordance with the Constitution, the Public Finance Management Act, the Public Audit Act, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, the County Governments Act, and the Senate Standing Orders. Yeah. Article 96(3) in particular provides that the Senate shall exercise oversight over the nationally raised revenue allocated to county governments, including ensuring accountability in the management of public resources. Further, Article 125(1) grants Parliament and its committees powers to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. Further, Article 125(2) provides that such committees have the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses, examine them under oath, compel the production of documents, and issue commissions or request to examine witnesses abroad. Mr. Speaker, sir, these powers were reiterated by the Supreme Court in the petition 24 and 27 of 2019 and 2022, the Senate versus the Council of Governors and 6 others, where the Supreme Court held that Article 96, 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution, as read together with Articles 110 to 112, leave no doubt that the Senate is established to perform fundamental roles of governance concerning counties through legislative, budgetary, and oversight actions. The court stated that the Senate has been granted considerable latitude in ensuring that county governments operate at optimal and within accountability standards if the objectives of devolution were to be realized. The Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker, sir, emphasized that there was no way the Senate could perform such an important role without having the powers to summon a governor and to require him or her to provide answers and offer explanations regarding the management of the county finances and related affairs. It stated that without such power, the Senate will not be able to exercise to protect the interests of the counties, nor will it be able to exercise effective oversight over national revenue allocated to counties. The court further stated that the office that is ultimately answerable to the Senate is that of the governor. In its analysis, the Supreme Court determined that the Senate is constitutionally empowered to summon governors to appear before it or any of its committees for purposes of answering questions and providing requisite information. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the recent past, certain county governors have repeatedly failed to honor invitations and summons issued by the County Public Accounts Committee to appear before it to respond to matters relating to financial management, accountability, and the use of public resources allocated to their respective county governments. Their actions contravene the Constitution and the statutory duty to account for funds allocated to their respective county governments and undermine the constitutional oversight mandate of the Senate. It weakens accountability in the management of public resources, contrary to the national values and principles of governance under Article 10 of the Constitution and principles of public finance under Article 201A of the Constitution, which requires openness and accountability. Mr. Speaker, sir, this disregard of the Senate invitations and summons sets a bad precedent and threatens to erode the principles of transparency, accountability, and respect for our constitutional institutions. The Senate will continue to discharge its oversight mandate as enshrined in the Constitution and will proceed to confirm audit reports even when governors fail to appear and forward their findings to the relevant government agencies for appropriate action. Mr. Speaker, just to provide context to this statement, is that I am deeply concerned following what is happening at our County Public Accounts Committee. And as leader in the House, Mr. Speaker, I felt compelled to issue this statement just to reaffirm that this position of the Senate is not only provided for constitutionally, but has been affirmed by none other than the highest court in the land, of the powers of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, to call on to governors to appear before our committees and give account of how they have utilized the resources that have been sent to them. This afternoon, Mr. Speaker, you have just informed the House of the passage of division of revenue. You know how hard this House works, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we equitably resource our counties to perform their functions. It cannot be that at the whims of governors, Mr. Speaker, they can sit purportedly at a illegal gathering in Kilifi and decide not to appear before county government, before the County Public and Accounts Committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I beg for your attention because this is extremely important. You have it, Majority Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You did give a reply to the county governments on the illegal instructions that they tried to give to the Senate while in Kilifi, Mr. Speaker, of their failure to appearance until certain matters that they hold against the committee are resolved. And we made it abundantly clear in this House, Mr. Speaker, that appearance before this House is not a buffet that you cherry pick, that I want to take this one, I will leave this other committee, that governors must appear before this particular House. Now that certain governors have chosen, Mr. Speaker, because we must set it on record, that there are governors that have gone ahead and appeared before County Public and Accounts Committee, but there are those that have seen the perfect opportunity to dodge responsibility of responding to how they have utilized resources, Mr. Speaker. I want to request, Mr. Speaker, and this be the position of all of us collectively, Mr. Speaker. I am aware, because I have consulted with the chairperson of the County Public Accounts Committee and their membership, that the County Public Accounts Committee will proceed and confirm the findings of the Auditor General on those counties, Mr. Speaker. Because if you have failed to come to respond, then it means you are guilty, you have accepted the verdict, Mr. Speaker. All that is left for us, because on Tuesday, the 31st of March, 2026, God willing, Mr. Speaker, shall be a special day in this House. We shall be passing the findings of the County Public Accounts Committee on the utilization of resources for last financial year by county governors. Those that have come before Public Accounts Committee and presented their responses, Mr. Speaker, will get a fair hearing. If you choose to waive the right to appear, Mr. Speaker, then it means you agree with the Auditor General, and therefore what will be left of us is to follow the findings of the Public Accounts Committee, which is to direct that EACC recovers the money, DCI arrests those that have disappeared with public resources, Mr. Speaker, and we move on to the next financial year. That is the import of this statement, and I hope every governor in the Republic of Kenya understands that position. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. So if you have an opportunity to speak, yes, comments including the statement by the majority leader, in which case then I will allow comments for not more than half an hour. So if you get an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. Senator Eddie Okech.
Chair, I just wanted to follow up very quickly on the majority leader that the moment we accept...
Senator Eddie, just take a seat. I'll allow you to make your comments. We have guests that have been seated for quite some time. Let me acknowledge their presence, and then we can proceed with the comments. Honorable Senators, would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation from the County Assembly of Samburu, comprising members of the House Business Committee and the Speaker's panel and its Secretariat. The delegation is undertaking a training program at the Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. The Honorable Stephen Lenamale, the Speaker of the County Assembly, the Honorable Lelenkeju Jackson Layan, Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Leleruk James Koeleken, Minority Leader, the Honorable Lorunyei Lawrence Sebastian, Minority Whip, the Honorable Lemosa Maura Lekuram, a member of the panel, the Honorable Eunice Sarah Lekrenyei, the Honorable Lebesina Calvin Lebalentan, the Honorable Jane Nakenyi, the Honorable Fred Lenaper, the Simon Lekupe, Timothy Leshomo, and Agnes Lerat. Now, Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of members of the county assemblies from Uasin Gishu and Makueni County Assemblies. The delegation is on a benchmarking engagement on best practices at the Senate. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. The Honorable Julia Sang, the Honorable Robin Tobosei, the Honorable Esther Mwangeli. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to you and wish you a fruitful visit. I will request the Senator for Samburu, Senator Lelegwe, and 1 minute to extend a word of welcome to welcome the delegation from Samburu County, and thereafter the Senate Deputy Minority Leader to extend a word of welcome to the second delegation. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me join you to welcome on behalf of the Senate the members of the County Assembly of Samburu, members of the House Business Committee, and the Speaker's panel to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, sir, I know there is a lot to learn here from the Senate by the County Assembly members and their staff And Mr. Speaker, sir, some of the members who are here today have served in the last 3 assemblies. They have served since devolution. And I know they have a lot. Honorable Urunye, Honorable Mosa served in the county assembly for the last 3 assemblies. And I know they have a wealth of experience. And my hope is that they learn, what they learn here is they take back to serve the people of Samburu better. I'm sure today they have seen the majority leader tabling a statement under Standing Order 57-1, which touches on the reports of this House and the responsibility of governors to appear before the Senate to come and account for the resources that they are allocated by this House. To note that, Mr. Speaker, sir, the governor of Samburu has never appeared, and he doesn't want to appear before the Park Committee to account for these resources. And in the last 2 sittings with the Park Committee, they have received very bad opinions, very bad opinions. There was a disclaimer, there was an adverse opinion, and there was also a qualified opinion out of 4 reports that he appeared before, he appeared to give feedback at the Park Committee. So I request that these members and their staff learn what brought them here and take back their report, or take back the experience of the Senate to go and serve the people and do well in their committees, because I'm sure that they were requested. Also, it is upon them to table the auditor's report before the 31st of March this year. And I am not sure whether the committee or the Park Committee of the County Assembly have tabled their reports in the County Assembly. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I welcome the members of staff of the County Assembly of Samburu and the members of the County Assembly. Thank you.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am grateful for this opportunity. I wish the Senator for Uasin Gishu was here to see how peacefully the County Assembly members from his county are seated with the representative from the County Assembly of Makueni. That is how things used to happen before Senator Cheruiyot became the majority leader and I joined the minority leadership. But I'm hoping that going forward, the relationships will normalize. Mr. Speaker, I want to join you again and my colleagues in welcoming that delegation and just make a point, Mr. Speaker. The chair of the County Public Accounts Committee is in the House, and a report has been, a statement has been tabled by the majority leader on appearances of governors before the County Public Accounts Committee. Makueni County, Mr. Speaker, is the only county in the year 2024-2025
Senator Enoch,
yes.
You'll have an opportunity to say all that.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say that for the benefit of the representative from the Assembly, because their county government has done extremely well. And even the Assembly appeared last week, and they did extremely well. What I don't know, Mr. Speaker, is whether I can say the same thing for the governor of Uasin Gishu. But because you have assured me that I'll have an opportunity to say those things, Mr. Speaker, I will apply myself fully to that invitation, and I'll do it, Mr. Speaker. With those remarks, I say welcome.
Senator Hezana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had just wanted to raise a point of information, but I didn't want to shout because my governor has not refused to appear before the committees. Indeed, the last time he appeared before the PIC committee, I was there. And Mr. Speaker, he had mentioned that there is a need to have different...
Senator Hazana, order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Senator Hazana, you belong to the Samburu delegation, and that's why I give you 1 minute to extend a word of welcome. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the opportunity to welcome our members of the County Assembly, while at the same time requesting the Senate Business Committee to ensure that there is harmony in the allocation of time at which the governors or the cabinet secretaries are welcomed to answer questions in the respective committees, because in the last time, Mr. Speaker, we had a conflict where the governor was supposed to appear in 2 committees concurrently, and he mentioned it. Otherwise, I welcome my County Assembly, and I hope you learn a lot from this house, and I know one day that you'll have the privilege to serve here and understand how the business of the day is carried. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, before I allow comments on the statements that have been sought, allow me to pass this communication. Further to the communication I issued in the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 25th of February 2026, regarding the basic operation of the Titan Congress system, I wish to inform you that the biometric authentication module has now been operationalized. We will therefore discontinue the use of key cards and transition to the biometric. For signing and attendance recording in plenary proceedings from Tuesday, 24th of March, 2026. Kindly note that after the transition, you will be required to sign in with your biometrics whenever you are present for your attendance to be recorded. For the avoidance of doubt, any senator that will attend a sitting and not sign in to the system will be marked absent. And therefore, honorable senators, an IT desk has been set up right outside the chamber to facilitate the registration of your biometrics ahead of the transition. Kindly ensure you pass by the IT desk and have your biometrics registered before the sitting on Tuesday, 24th of March, 2026. I thank you. Senator Eddy, you may now proceed with your comments.
Mr. Speaker, within these 3 minutes, let me first of all make a rejoinder or a comment on what Senator Chiragea talked about in the police intervention where issues have been raised and then they end up mishandling people. Because, Mr. Speaker, I had actually attempted to bring a serious statement in this House on the status of insecurity in Migori County. And before even my statement could be accepted, Mr. Speaker, as valid, last weekend we had a confrontation between the police and the population where 3 lives were lost at gunshots. And the police station in Makalda was burnt down by people, Mr. Speaker, who are angry at the police. And this is because, Mr. Speaker, constantly there has been laxity by the police to deal with those insecurities in that area, to the extent that the people there now are being terrorized by GSU officers who have gone now to Makalda to try and restore order, Mr. Speaker. These issues, if they are not solved, Mr. Speaker, and the statement that Senator Cherargei, Mr. Speaker, should be treated by the agency it deserves. And I know that Senator Cherargei also asked a question to the Ministry of Interior on the general state of insecurity in places including Migori, Nandi, and other places, Mr. Speaker. They are an emergency, because if you don't take care, Mr. Speaker, the population will start fighting with the police, and that will be the highest height of insecurity. It is happening in Nyatike, and I stand with my people in Nyatike that they should not be harassed by the police in Nyatike. There must be a proper understanding between the police and the people in the locality. And Mr. Speaker, that said, because I don't have much time, Mr. Speaker, the country is going to a serious crisis where a jamboree of a group of a corporate organization that calls itself the County Governors Council, Mr. Speaker, is deciding that it's not going to come to this out, Mr. Speaker, to account to critical issues of audit, and they are tantamount to serious crime of humanity on financial irregularities in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you don't rise to this issue, we're not going to manage it, Mr. Speaker. In Migori County, Mr. Speaker, I have taken time and checked on the auditor's report, Mr. Speaker, for 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker. You will find critical irregularities, Mr. Speaker, starting with, 58 million that has been transferred from County Revenue Fund without any trace. We have got 72 million, Mr. Speaker, that is supported, transferred from the same county coffers, Mr. Speaker, for ECDs that were not built. Mr. Speaker, we have got things like 826 million that cannot be accounted for in terms of pending bills, Mr. Speaker. I can go on and on, Mr. Speaker. I think it is very important, Mr. Speaker.
You have 1 minute. You already have 1 minute.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I just want to request, why can't the chair pack just do a basic consideration of these reports? Because you have given these governors a chance to be heard. Then bring this report for us here in the House, Mr. Speaker. Bring them here in the House so that we tell the country what is happening in this audit report, Mr. Speaker. Because if we don't intervene, Mr. Speaker, these governors are developing a route of looking us in the eye and telling us that corruption is acceptable so long as they can be able to buy their ways outside there and other senators, Mr. Speaker. Let's come and deal with them in this House, Mr. Speaker, because committees meet as a subsect of the entire House. Bring them in this House, bring those reports here so that we discuss them as a House for each and every government who does not appear in the House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chute.
Shukrani sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, hata ingawa sitaongea ile Kiswahili sanifu kama ndugu yangu Senator Madzayo. Mheshimiwa Spika, Senator Madzayo ameleta taarifa muhimu sana. Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo ya Shakahola miaka 3 sasa, maiti inawekwa kwa magunia, inawekwa kwa container. Mheshimiwa Spika, komiti ambayo inahusika ingefaa kufika kule waone kitu gani inaendelea kule, ndio waje hapa kwa bunge watueleze ni kitu gani wameona na hatua gani itachukuliwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, wale watu kwa mila ya Kiafrika, kawaida wa Afrika wanaheshimu maiti. Mheshimiwa Spika, Shakahola wamewacha kuheshimu maiti. Polisi ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Spika, wamewacha kuheshimu maiti kabisa. Na mahospitali ya Kenya wamewacha kuheshimu maiti. Mheshimiwa Spika, hospitali wakati mtu amekufa wakidai pesa wanaweka maiti kama rahani. Paka hiyo maiti ilipiwe, paka ndururu ya mwisho haitatoka hapo. Mheshimiwa Spika, maiti kama haijalipiwa inatolewa mahali mashini inawekwa. Kwa Kiswahili kidogo inanisumbua, lakini mahali inawekwa, inahifadhiwa maiti, wanatolewa wanawekwa kwa floor, kwa ardhi huko chini. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu hajalipa pesa kwa sakafu. Mheshimiwa Spika, asante sana. Mheshimiwa Spika, polisi wanaua mtu ako hai, anatolewa uhai yake, badala ya kupeleka mochari wanaweka ndani ya visiwa huko mahali inatupwa ndani ya matakataka. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna juzi kijana kutoka Moyale aliuawa. Mtu ako hai, kijana mdogo wako na watoto. Badala ya polisi wameua, wachukue maiti wahifadhi vizuri, Mheshimiwa Spika, wametupa ndani ya msituni na amechomwa, amewekwa vibaya sana. Honorable Speaker, committee ambaye inahusika na hiyo, naomba hawa wasiende Shakahola peke yake, waangalie mambo ya polisi pia. Unakumbuka Mheshimiwa Speaker, vijana wetu wengi wametupwa ndani ya bahari, ndani ya maji, Malaga. Wafanye chunguzi hata hiyo, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kwa hayo machache nasema
Senator for Nairobi County, City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say something on the statement sought by the Senator for Nandi. Speaker, it is quite disturbing that weeks after the incident that we all saw at the University of Nairobi, the Kikuyu campus, that officer who was involved in that particular incident has not even been identified by the police service. No arrest has been announced or even any charges being preferred against him. There has actually been even no briefing by the National Police Service. And all this noise that we've made as a people, that what happened was unacceptable, has just been met with silence. At least, Honorable Speaker, in the case of Nandi Hills, which my brother is very much aware of the kids who were playing pool that were attacked by police, we were told that there was some administrative action, although again later they came and said, oh, those officers had not been transferred, had been widely circulated. But, Honorable Speaker, even in the case of Nandi Hills, there have been no charges up to today for the officers who were seen openly violating the peace of these young people. So, Honorable Speaker, you know, there are very few officers in the police force that give the entire force a very bad name. I don't think there is anyone who believes that anyone who has gone through police training can actually fire into a house that he knows there are people inside, and he himself cannot even see where that bullet is going. That officer, Honorable Speaker, we must continue to insist that he be brought to book. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Majority Leader and the leadership of this House, including the Speaker, for the confidence that you have demonstrated or shown towards the County Public Accounts Committee in our quest to bring governors to account. I also want to make it clear, Honorable Speaker, that not all county governors are refusing to appear before the committee. There are just a few notorious ones. And in fact, Honorable Speaker, I will be challenging my chair to give the top 5 most notorious county governors. They are the ones inciting the other people. Can you imagine, Honorable Speaker, we had a situation last week where a governor who chose to attend kept us waiting there because she was on phone with the chairperson of the Council of Governors, being threatened that if you proceed with that meeting, that there is going to be undisclosed consequences, Honorable Speaker. And it is the most shameful thing, something that I am very ashamed of, that the chair of the Council of Governors is elected on ODM, for which I am the Secretary General. I am extremely embarrassed, Honorable Speaker, because ODM is known for being the party that supports devolution and transparency in use of public resources. How can somebody who calls himself a member of ODM champion such impunity? Speaker, just the way they gave the country 4 names of the notorious governors, we are going to go and do a top 5. And chair, usitishwe na mutu. Mr. Speaker, I want the chair to bring that motion that we had agreed should be brought here so that we stop funds going to some of these people's counties so that they can appear. In fact, yesterday, Honorable Speaker, my own county governor here, Governor Sakaja, was one of those who was scheduled to appear before the committee. And
Senator Sifuna, conclude in a minute.
He failed to appear, Honorable Speaker, and the most unfortunate part is that when I came from Meru on Sunday evening, I found businessmen who do their trade on Road A in industrial area. They were waiting for me in my house, Honorable Speaker, because their premises are flooded. I had assured them that they did not worry. The governor would be before the committee the next day. I would ask those questions on their behalf. He didn't show up, so I didn't get to ask them. At this rate, Honorable Speaker, I wish there was a way for the committee to be told where these governors live. We want to go to their homes. The way those businessmen are coming to our homes, Honorable Speaker, we have to take our committee sittings into these governors' houses because now it is becoming too much. And I want to confirm that the governor of Samburu is one of those. In fact, there is an arrest warrant pending. An arrest warrant pending for the governor of Samburu. So nobody should tell this house that, oh, he has other things to do or that he has not refused to come. And we want the IG of police to make good his promise to this house to bring that governor before the Senate, followed by Governor of Nairobi, the Honorable Sakaja. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Fernandez. Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Senator Sifuna has spoken very well today for most of us, and we are proud. If he goes through this trajectory, things are looking very good. Mr. Speaker, mine is on your county. It is very unfortunate that 3.5 years, there are 286 bodies that are lying in Malindi Sub-County Hospital, yet to be released to the families for decent burial. Yet DNA test has been taken. What is happening? Is somebody using it for sorcery or bewitching? Because why don't we release these bodies to the families? Mr. Speaker, when you are in Malindi Sub-County Hospital, which you are familiar with because you come from that area and minority leader, the smell is so strong that the people who are sick smell death. Mr. Speaker, it is even psychologically unfortunate to the patients who are recovering in Malindi Sub-County Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the Ministry of Interior and the concerned ministry. Now that they have DNA samples, they have everything, Mr. Speaker, can you, even in your own as the Speaker of this House, which you come from that area and the Senate minority leader, can the families, their bodies be released? Because even the case of the allegations facing the infamous Pastor Magensi is almost coming to a conclusion, Mr. Speaker, because it's a public knowledge, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order that now the government releases the 286 bodies that they have detained for 3.5 years? Remember, Mr. Speaker, these bodies were excavated or removed from the shallow graves. They are smelling, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order? Mr. Speaker, can you direct the minister, the Committee of National Security, to ensure that the bodies are released, Mr. Speaker? You have so much powers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is your county. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that, Mr. Speaker, I beg of you that stand with these families, and will stand with you because you lead this House as number 3. I know somebody has claimed that they are number 3 in government, but I want to confirm you are number 3, Mr. Speaker. Let others are jokers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the final question I want is the issue of mining. This company called Shanichi Jiali Mining is a Chinese company that is taking advantage of your people, and it's next to your constituency, Magarini, Mr. Speaker. Magarini. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. They have bypassed all the laws that exist. They don't follow NEMA. Who are these people? You cannot go and do this nonsense, sorry, Mr. Speaker, for using that word, in China. You saw what happened in Kolomani. What is happening in Karebe, Tindre sub-county, is what will happen to your people. Mr. Speaker, if this thing is not stopped now, NEMA must tell us what they have eaten, that the laws, Mr. Speaker, even men from your area can no longer sire. They can no longer execute their things in the evening because the environment is not conducive. And you know, Mr. Speaker, before you give birth, you need a peaceful environment.
You've used your time, and you've used it very well, so have a seat. It's already concluded. Yes, Senator for Kericho.
Mr. Speaker, you must give me, because this also concerns you, because you are equally from Kilifi. And you have heard the Senator for Nandi make very grave allegations against men from Kilifi, Mr. Speaker. And to confirm the worst, Mr. Speaker, the leader of minority, who is a senator for Kilifi, was cheering and stamping his feet, Mr. Speaker. Well, the Senator for Nandi said men from Kilifi can no longer perform their duties, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order for the Senator for Nandi to confirm, yet we know, Mr. Speaker, that number one, he doesn't come from Kilifi. Secondly, he is not a woman of the opposite sex, Mr. Speaker, to confirm what men from Kilifi can do. Mr. Speaker, can he set the record straight on behalf of your constituents?
No, honorable Senator. Yes, Senator for Kilifi.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kiongozi wa walio wengi amekosea kabisa ile statement ambayo ulikuwa mimi nasema. Ni kwamba ikiwa kuna mambo ya mavumbi, ikiwa kuna mambo ya TB, wewe utakuwaje mgonjwa alafu useme unataka kuzaa? Utazaa namna gani? Kama nguvu hakuna kwenye mwili. Kwa hiyo tunasema wale wa Chinese wako kule, ile kazi wanaofanya ni kazi mbaya ya kuchimba mashimo, kutoa rasilimali zetu na hatimaye watu wetu kuumia kuathirika na yale mavumbi wanayotoa wakiwa wanafanya ile shughuli, alafu ndio wanashindwa kufanya kazi.
No, order, honorable senators. Let us rest that matter there. Okay, it is only a medical doctor who can confirm those statements. Senator Oburu.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand to contribute to the issue of Mr. Speaker, I stand to the issue of governors not appearing before the Senate. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a very, very serious matter. Mr. Speaker, it is a serious matter because how can governors claim that our senators are receiving bribes from them? If they are receiving bribes from them, can they prove that senators are receiving those bribes? And if they gave the bribes to cover their crimes, are they not equally guilty before the law? Mr. Speaker, the receiver and the giver are guilty. So how can they claim innocence and then now use that claim, which is unsubstantiated, to fail to appear before the committees of Parliament? Mr. Speaker, I condemn this, and I think our fellow governors, if they don't want to come, Parliament has a way of forcing them to come. We have laws which are force them to come, and Mr. Speaker, we must ensure that those governors who fail to appear before the Senate committee, particularly PAC, will go through the whole hog of the law to make sure that they appear before the House. And if it is the police to bring them, let the police be forced to bring them. The police must bring them, because that is the law. There is no way the police are going to exonerate themselves. They are going to sit back and watch and wait for Parliament to keep on demanding. Mr. Speaker, it is a waste of public resources for PAC to invite and then sit and get allowances for the sitting, and the governors are sitting close there. Mr. Speaker, we also have other ways. We can also refuse to pass their budget. Particularly those particular governors who refuse to appear before the committee. Mr. Speaker, I know that the Senate is not completely...
One more minute, Senator Buru, to conclude. 1 minute so that you conclude.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I know that the Senate is not completely helpless in this matter, and therefore the law must be followed to the letter. And I hope that sense will come to some of these governors who feel that they are next to God. We are all human, and they must obey the law as it is. And if they feel that there is any injustice, they also have a recourse. They can go and seek it elsewhere, but not to refuse to come to the Senate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For the Senator Abbas. Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also want to contribute to Murutana's statement. Honorable Speaker, actually it's very unfortunate that every part of this country is complaining about blackouts. My own county, I think for the last 3 months, have been experiencing a serious blackouts. Despite being in the month of Ramadan, where people require the utility of electricity, it's very unfortunate that the Vijay County is still having the same problems Even after His Excellency the President went there and promised that the blackout will be ending very soon. But up to now, for the last 1 month, it has not ended. Two, Honorable Speaker, for the statement made by the majority leader, it's actually very, very unfortunate that my governor, who is the chairman of the COG, is also an FCBA holder. But instead of leading people from front, he's going backwards and then that he's not going to appear. It is not that the senators want them to appear. It is the Constitution. We don't need them to appear. They are not coming for us. It's actually the Constitution that requires them to appear. They should appear. And therefore, there is no reason of saying somebody has done this, this has been done, these guys have been done. No, 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 no. If you want to look for excuse, it's actually then we think this is the right time. This Senate must have a teeth to bite, that we can be able to take action against them. Not only under police escort. I think we need also to shield them financially. Fiscal management is a very important thing in this country. Every day you open the papers, you see, even today you have seen the MPs, the CDF have questions asked. There are about 2.1 billion shillings which are appearing on the papers now today. And this is actually a constitutional requirement. It is not the Senate, it is not the House of the Parliament that is asking. It's actually the Constitution that is asking, and therefore that must be obeyed. And therefore I'll tell my governor to lead his flock to the right position and to the right places so that we can avoid this kind of confrontation. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Senator Osoti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me comment on the statement by Minority Leader on exploitation of minerals in Kilifi. Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious issue, and I know a number of us have brought statements in this House on the same topic, but maybe different minerals. Like I know Senator Halwale, Senator Muma, myself, and even Senator Okiya Omtata. We have brought statements here regarding the mineral exploitation of gold in Western Kenya. And this is a very serious issue, Mr. Speaker, and I hope the committee that handles minerals will provide answers to this House, because this problem is a nationwide problem and our people are being exploited unnecessarily, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of governors not appearing before us, I think, Mr. Speaker, we have the powers. I have read the statement by the majority leader, but how I would wish, Mr. Speaker, we took a very serious step, Mr. Speaker, because committees of PAC and PIC are committees of this House. Why don't we consider that next Wednesday, Mr. Speaker, we invite or we summon all the governors who have not appeared before us to come before the committee of the whole House, Mr. Speaker, and explain to us why they have not been appearing before the two committees. I think that would be a serious step. And then after that, Mr. Speaker, we stop dispersing funds to these counties. Because if we just talk about it in a statement and we leave it there, none of these governors will appear before us, Mr. Speaker. The kind of contempt, the kind of rudeness that we have seen in our committees, Mr. Speaker, this cannot be left to go on. Last week in my committee, Mr. Speaker, the governor of Samburu appeared, and he openly expressed his bad attitude and rudeness to the committee. This is not the way to go, Mr. Speaker. These people should appear before the committee of the whole House and explain why they have not been appearing before the two important oversight committees, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to comment on the statement by the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, the governor of Tana River County should join that list of those notorious governors who have failed to respond and attend to the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. And there is a reason, Mr. Speaker. In the year ending June 2025, there are 199 transactions amounting to 573 million that were raised, but there was no corresponding purchase explanations and then there was difficulty in matching or recording invoices against the LPOs in the IFMIS. Mr. Speaker, that's almost 600 million that was utilized, and it cannot be properly accounted for. Mr. Speaker, aside from that, there were payments that were made outside the IFMIS, Mr. Speaker. The internet banking system of Tana River in that year says that 1,132,329 shillings were payments made outside the IFMIS system. Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why this governor is dodging coming to account for a county that is receiving only at about 9 billion shillings. If you are making payments of more than 1 billion shillings without using the IFMIS system, Mr. Speaker, something is really wrong with this governor. My proposal, Mr. Speaker, is that we need to further strengthen the penalties against rogue governors. Instead of just giving them that 500,000 fine, we should amend the Powers and Privileges Act to enhance it to 5 million shillings. They pay personally from their funds, not the county government. Also, Mr. Speaker, we should have powers to order immediate arrest of rogue governors. We have a parliament police station that has a cell so that we can restrain these people. They have a real feeling of what stealing means, so that they stay there, Mr. Speaker, and
give Senator Mugatana 1 minute to just conclude on his sentiments.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, so that these governors who have been found to be rogue, they can stay in the parliament cells until they pay the fine of 5 million shillings. Mr. Speaker, if we can make this pain felt directly to these governors, then, Mr. Speaker, we will stop the drainage of funds. Mr. Speaker, this cannot go on. We cannot have governors who think this money belongs to them. We have never asked about how they use the salaries. We ask about how they are spending the county funds that belong to the people of Tana River. And shame on you, Mr. Governor, for the way you are misusing those funds. Shame on you for the lack of medicines in the hospital. Shame on you for the...
Your time is up, Senator Mungatana. Senator Wambua Enoch.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two quick comments. One, on the issue of the bodies lying at Malindi Level 4 Hospital from Shakahola. Mr. Speaker, there is indignity, but there is also indignity, Mr. Speaker. Honestly, this is hardly a way of dealing with the dead in the African context, in the Kenyan context. It doesn't matter what explanations the Speaker are available for this. You cannot have bodies lying inside a container outside a public hospital, and the relatives and the kin of those bodies are crying out to be given the bodies to go and give them a dignified send-off. Mr. Speaker, we'll leave it to the conscience of the people responsible to handle that matter. But it's a biggest shame, collective shame of a nation. Mr. Speaker, it shall be remembered that the collective decision by the governors not to appear before the County Public Accounts Committee of the Senate was made in Kilifi. Mr. Speaker, while there, these governors would have used their time better to even address themselves to that issue of the bodies lying outside the hospital. Because the bodies in there don't just belong to Kilifi County. They are bodies of Kenyans across the country. And perhaps the governors that were making the loudest noise about not appearing, perhaps they are bodies of their people lying in those containers. That would have been a better use of their time as a speaker in Kilifi. But because the speaker, for them, that is not important. As Speaker, I want to say this and say it very clearly. These governors, they may collectively decide not to appear, but they must always be reminded that responsibility is personal, it is not collective. The notorious governor, the Speaker, including your own governor, the governor of Bomet, is one of those notorious governors who last week, or was it even early this week, wrote a letter explaining why they could not appear before the CPAC. And the reason that they could not appear is because, according to the letter, the governor had prior important official engagements. Now, Speaker, I ask myself, and I ask this House, and I ask the governors, what more important official engagement would a governor have than to account for public resources given to them to serve their people?
Give him 1 minute to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, these governors, and I am happy that we had a meeting today. Mr. Speaker, I want to report to this House that because the last appearance that the IG had before the committee, he committed that he will be bringing governors that we order him to arrest and bring to us. That we have decided, Mr. Speaker, that on Thursday of next week, the governor of Samburu be brought before the committee in chains to answer, Mr. Speaker, to audit queries. And Mr. Speaker, the IG should know that this is not a request. This is a directive. It's an agreement that we had with him. And committees of parliament, Mr. Speaker, don't pronounce themselves in vain. So, Mr. Speaker, once the IG receives that official communication, I expect that the governor of Samburu will appear in chains on Thursday to answer to audit queries for...
The 1 minute added to Senator Wambua is over. Indeed, just to confirm what you said, the governor of Bomet actually in his letter of draft declined to appear before the Senate committee. And besides that, there are other contempt proceedings of not only the committees but other courts out of corruption allegations. Senator Boni Halwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we made a mistake. I'm saying this in contribution to the statement by the leader of the majority. When we gave governors a bill that allowed them to be called His Excellency, and allowed them to fly the national flag, and allowed their wives to be called First Lady, and allowed them to drive around in sirens, we allowed them a retinue of police officers as escorts. We created the African man syndrome in them. And therefore, this proposal by the leader of the majority should be accompanied by exercising Article 225 of the Constitution on financial control that allows us to stop 50% of the funds due to the defiant governors. Mr. Speaker, I was surprised that the person reading that statement was the governor of Kakamega, a man for whom the people of Kakamega are waiting to hear what he has to say about the 240 million that he found allocated on the Butali-Maleka Road. Instead, he is today in a rally, Mr. Speaker, asking the President of Kenya to help him build the same road, for which we want him to account for the 240 million shillings that was put in that account when he reported in office. Mr. Speaker, we want him to tell us what happened to the 120 million shillings that was meant to do the bridge and gap the road from Bushiangala all the way to Eregi that has got a crossover in the budget, and the money was in the account, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we would like the governor of Kakamega to tell the people of Kakamega, and I'm glad that the party leader of ODM is here, but also should tell us, Mr. Speaker, what happened to the 400 million that he put to the road from Mwiboma in Mumiasi all the way to Indangalasia. 3 years down the road, he has not done anything. We would like to know, Mr. Speaker, what happened to the 600 million that was intended to do the road from Bulimbo Market in Harambe all the way to Haunga. Instead, the guy has done only 2.5 kilometers and the money is gone. These are the things he's coming before the committee will clarify. Finally, may I congratulate young Senator Kajwang and your team. Stay put. When you are asking questions of why not, what not, no.
Thank you, Senator Boni. You know, had you asked for a minute, I would probably have given you, but you did not. So, in the circumstances, I will, I will proceed to allow the next speaker, Senator Faki, to.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa zilizoletwa bungeni. Kwanza naanza na Senator Mazayo kuhusiana na miili iliyobaki katika hifadhi ya maiti Malindi. Mheshimiwa Spika, bunge hili lilichagua kamati maalumu ya kuangalia mambo ya Shakahola. Na moja ya mapendekezo nilikuwa ni kwamba yale miili iweze kupewa wenyewe mapema na waweze kuzika ili waweze kusahau masuala hayo. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, ni masikitiko leo karibu miaka mitatu bado tunazungumzia mambo haya ya Shakahola. Mheshimiwa Spika, baadhi ya mapendekezo ilikuwa ni kubadilisha sheria ambayo inaangalia taasisi za kidini. Na Mheshimiwa Senator Mungatana alikuwa na shauku kubwa ya kuweza kupitisha sheria hili, lakini nasikitika ni kwa sheria pia iliweza kuondolewa baada ya kuchapishwa, na hivyo basi katika masuala ya Shakahola hatukuweza kupata chochote ambacho tuweza kusema kwamba kiliweza kufanyika kwa sababu ya kamati hiyo na kwamba wananchi wataweza kufurahia. Mheshimiwa Spika, ina maana kwamba zile fedha ambazo bunge hili lilitoa kwa masuala ya Shakahola ni pesa ambazo zilikwenda bure, kwa sababu hata leo bado watu wanalalamika miili haijazikwa. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, zile mochari ambazo ziko pale, ile container mochari ambayo iko pale, hata si ya hospitali ya kuu ya Kilifi, ni ya watu binafsi, Kenya Red Cross, na labda wangeweza kuitumia mahali pengine vizuri zaidi kuliko kukaa pale na miili ikaendelea kuharibika kwa muda wote. Mheshimiwa Spika, hususan hivi sasa ambapo umeme unakuwa ni shida. Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo nyingi, wabunge kadhaa hapa wameleta matatizo ya umeme katika kaunti zao, nikiwapo Mombasa pia. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja ya swala hili kutatuliwa kwa haraka, kwa sababu tayari kuna harufu inaudhi watu wako pale na ni kinyume na maadili ya kiafya katika sehemu ile. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwisho ni kuhusu magavana ambao hawawezi kuja kujibu maswali katika bunge hili. Mmoja wa magavana wao Mheshimiwa Spika ni gavana wa Mombasa, ambaye pia ametoa sababu nyingi kukosa kuja katika bunge hili kuweza kujibu maswali. Hivi nimeona barua tayari kwamba tarehe 23 anatakana hapa siku ya Jumatatu. Na nina hakika Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo tarehe 23 atakuwa na hafla nyingine ambayo itamwezesha asiweze kufika katika bunge hili kujibu maswali mazuri ambayo yameandaliwa na kamati ya uhasibu ili kuhakikisha kwamba fedha zetu zinatumika vizuri. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningeunga mkono pendekezo la Seneta Ososi kwamba badala ya kuita mawaziri Jumatano wiki ijayo, tuite wale magavana ambao ni sugu kukataa kuja na waweza.
Senator Faki, I'll give you 30 seconds. Give Senator Faki 30 seconds to conclude.
Yes. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, waitwe hapa Jumatano wiki ijayo ili waweze kujitetea ni kwa sababu gani wanakiuka katiba. Kwa sababu kukiuka katiba ni moja ya
You know, Senator Faki, you asked for 30 seconds. And,
they have not attended, Mr. Speaker.
All right, conclude.
Only 3 seconds.
Conclude, Senator Faki. You're still on the floor.
Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, waitwe hapa kwa sababu moja ya sababu za kuweza kubanduliwa mamlakani ni kukataa kutii sheria. Na sheria inasema kwamba lazima waje katika bunge la Senate waweze kujitetea kwa hisabu na ripoti zao ambazo zimetoka kwa mhasibu mkuu wa serikali. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Sir, though you've not made the communication, I would request upfront you add me a minute because the people sitting at the gallery, they are from my county, 3 schools, Mr. Speaker, and because you might not be able to make the communication on time, I would want to request you to add me a minute so that I would take the opportunity to welcome them.
Senator Wamatinga, now that you've brought that to my attention, resume your seat so that I can make that communication. Honorable Senators, I have a communication on visiting teachers and students from schools in Nyeri County. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, visiting teachers and students from Ndiani Comprehensive School, Kiaruthi Comprehensive School, and St. Thomas Gatura Secondary School in Nyeri County. The delegation comprises 13 teachers and 89 students who are visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful learning. I thank you. Now, in your contribution, Senator Wamatinga, you may have also an opportunity to welcome them under the timeline that is available to you, being 3 minutes for the comments and 1 minute to welcome the delegation.
Give me the mic. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Indeed, that's very, very kind of you. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the learners from Nyeri County. Mr. Speaker, why we do go into the length of inviting learners to come to the Parliament is because we want to show them what we do here. But most important to Mr. Speaker, we want to inspire them so that after we are gone, Mr. Speaker, we'll have people who will leave this country too. Mr. Speaker, Nyeri was known being one of the best performers in Kenya academically. We noted that the performance has declined over time, and it is the high time we as the leadership of Nyeri take up our responsibility and guide them to get back to where we were those days. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to speak about the exploitative mining that's going on around the country. Mr. Speaker, it is the responsibility of the leadership today to ensure that we do not only exploit the minerals that we've been bestowed with, but we also do it in a sustainable way so that we do not leave a country behind for the future generation that has been depleted of all the raw materials, but most importantly, Mr. Speaker, that we also leave an opportunity for our children to find a country that is habitable. Mr. Speaker, this is why, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to praise the President, His Excellency, the President William Samuel Ruto, for his ability to see things different, to create a vertical fund, Mr. Speaker, that does not require us to dig into our budget so that we can have alternative development, infrastructure development. Mr. Speaker, had we done this, Mr. Speaker, creation of a sovereign fund, creation of an infrastructure development fund, Mr. Speaker, we would be having a country that's far, far ahead. And we know, Mr. Speaker, we have a journey to walk through Canaan to the Singapore, and that we cannot do, Mr. Speaker, unless we do things differently. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to add my voice to the statement that has been raised by the majority leader. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the Senate, as is the governors, is a creation of a constitution, and it is imperative that we honor this constitution. It is imperative that governors, as we the legislatures, also answer to the constitution, and therefore it is important that we turn this house into a committee of the whole and summon all those governors who've been summoned by the committees so that they can come and answer questions, because it is our mandate, oversight mandate, to ensure that we represent our people, to ensure that the resources that are allocated to the governors is getting to the rightful use, and most importantly, that they are able to account for it. It is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker, that we will have a governor who will say that he's not available, he has any other commitment. If they feel that they have any other commitment, Mr. Speaker, let them leave their positions to their deputies and go back to their normal life, because it is their duty to appear before this House and explain how they have spent the public money that has been allocated to them. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator Omatinga. Now, Honorable Senators, it's just been brought to my attention that the motion for extension for consideration of the Sugar General Regulation 2025 is, today is its last day. So, Senator Olekina, you will actually be the next person to speak after we transact the business that I'm trying to guide the House on. So I will immediately suspend comments on these statements so that we transact on these regulations while we still have quorum. I want to plead with members not to leave the chamber so that we take a vote on these regulations. And immediately thereafter, we will resume to comment on the regulations. And therefore, I will rearrange the order paper and ask the clerk to call order number 8. Honorable Senators, please do not leave the chamber. Clerk, call.
Order number 8, motion, extension of time for consideration of the Sugar General Regulations 2025, legal notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulations 2025, legal notice number 168 of 2025.
Senator Mofire, the chairperson, delegated legislation, proceed to move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the motion that aware that the Sugar General Regulations 2025, legal notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulations 2025, legal notice number 168 of 2025, were tabled in the Senate on the 6th of November 2025 and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act. Cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate, pursuant to Section 15(2) of the Statutory Instruments Act, which lapsed on Tuesday, today, 17th of March 2026. Aware that Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory amendment by a period not exceeding 21 calendar days. Noting that the committee requires additional time to consider issues arising from stakeholders' consultations and to allow for further engagements on the regulations. Now, therefore, the Senate, pursuant to Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, resolved to extend the timelines for the consideration of the Sugar General Regulations 2025, legal notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulation 2025 and legal notice number 168 of 2025, for a further 21 calendar days to enable the committee to conclude its consideration and table its report on before Tuesday, 31st March 2026. I am begged to move, Honorable Speaker, and I request Honorable Dr. Danishon Buya Mungatana to second.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to second this motion. Mr. Speaker, this is a very simple motion that really seeks to give time to the committee so that we can be able to look at these sugar regulations 2025, legal notice number 167, and legal notice number 168 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee, when we engaged with the T-board and the leadership, they explained to us the need for restructuring on how tea leaves can be delivered in a more effective manner than the way it is being done now. They also said that there are practices that need to be codified. What is happening on the ground is not what the regulations that the regulating the RMA, the regulating meeting body, was reflecting in what was given to us. So they needed time to also look at what is practically happening on the ground and what needs to be codified in the regulations. Mr. Speaker, for us who are sitting at the committee, we really want to make sure that in this period, the tea sector will have regulations that will help the farmer, the small-scale farmer. Where does he sell his leaf? Who is the person who will buy? What kind of contractual arrangements are going to be there? And the transportation, who is going to bear the costs? Mr. Speaker, all these things, they need to be done in such a way that, Mr. Speaker, this Senate will have a reason to say that during our time, we made sure that this sector, the tea sector, has been regulated in a manner that helps the small farmer to gain maximum benefits. So, Mr. Speaker, I am urging the colleagues who are seated here to allow us to finish this work, and this is a request that came from the T-board themselves, and we acquiesced to it, and we said we will come back to the Senate and ask for extension of time because, according to the rules as moved by the chair, the time was going to lapse, and this would have meant that the regulations would not go on as envisaged. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm just urging colleagues to allow us the time. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Lemaletian, take the next seat to you. Thank you. Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that aware the Sugar General Regulations 2025, legal notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulations 2025, legal notice number 168 of 2025, were tabled in the Senate on the 6th of November 2025 and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12, subsection 1 of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instruments by the Senate pursuant to Section 15, subsection 2 of the Statutory Instruments Act, which will lapse on Tuesday, which is today, 17th March 2026, aware that Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by a period not exceeding 21 calendar days, noting that the committee requires additional time to consider issues arising from stakeholder consultations and to allow for further engagement on the regulations. Now, therefore, The Senate, pursuant to Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of the Sugar General Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 168 of 2025, for a further 21 calendar days to enable the committee to conclude its consideration and table its report on or before Tuesday, 31st of March, 2026. Senator Cherargei, Senator Mulgor, you may take your seats. Minority Leader, please take your seat as well. Now, honorable members, having proposed the question, this motion is available for your comments. But it being a procedural motion, with your concurrence, I propose that I proceed to put the question. Honorable members, honorable senators, with your concurrence, I take note of Senator Cherargei's concern, but the majority are in concurrence that we proceed to put the question. Therefore, I will proceed, and pursuant to Standing Order 84.1, I make a determination that the matter does not affect counties, and therefore proceed to put the question. Honorable senators, I put the question that, aware that the Sugar General Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 168 of 2025, were tabled in the Senate on 6th of November 2025 and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12, subsection 1 of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instruments by the Senate pursuant to Section 15, subsection 2 of the Statutory Instruments Act, which will lapse on Tuesday, 17th of March 2026, being today, aware that Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of statutory instruments by a period not exceeding 21 calendar days, and noting that the committee requires additional time to consider issues arising from stakeholder consultations and to allow for further engagement on the regulations. Now, therefore, the Senate, pursuant to Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of the Sugar General Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 167 of 2025, and the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulation 2025, Legal Notice number 168 of 2025, for a further 21 calendar days to enable the committee to conclude its consideration and table its report on or before Tuesday, 31st of March 2026. Honorable members, now will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Thank you, honorable members. We will now go back to the statements for purposes of continuation on the comments by members. And the next senator is Senator Olekina Ledama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make some brief comments on the statement by the Majority Leader on the absconsion of accountability by the governors. Mr. Speaker, accountability cannot be boycotted. And tonight, or this afternoon, I want to speak directly to the senators in this House, particularly the senators both in the PIC and PAC committees. There's no need for us to throw jabs at each other. There's no need for us to insult the governors or to speak very harsh to them. The only thing we need to do, Mr. Speaker, is for us to use the legal mechanism which is there. Their accountability is entrenched in the Constitution. When it comes to the issue of oversight,
Senator
Mr. Speaker.
Olekina, there is a point of order from Senator Cherargei. I will allow him to raise the order. Give him the microphone. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, accuracy of facts at Standing Order 105. Is it in order for the distinguished senator of Narok, which I have tremendous respect because his governors appeared before public accounts, to say senators are insulting governors? In fact, the governors are worse because they name and shame some of us without even going through a procedure. Is it in order to say we are insulting governors? Can you withdraw and apologize? Because Article 96, Mr. Speaker, is very clear. We do oversight. We don't insult anybody. Is it in order?
Senator Olekina, you've heard the point of order by Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, there's a reason why people become number one in class and number last in class. If the distinguished senator would be patient to listen to my submissions, then he will understand that I merely made a statement that say there is no need for us to throw jabs at each other. I never at any point made a statement that senators are insulting governors. So I think if we just pay attention, it would really help us a lot. Mr. Speaker, I will go back to my submissions. And Senate oversight is entrenched in the Constitution. Article 96, Article 125, Article 226, all the way to 228 demands for accountability. So when governors choose to ignore summons, we must then come back and ask ourselves, why are these governors ignoring these summons? Were the summons worded clearly? And what are the intended and unintended consequences of those summons? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to persuade Senator Moses Kajwang, who is the chairperson of CPAC, and Senator Otsotsi, the chairperson of PIC, to use the legal mechanism, which is already there, laid out clearly, to be able to call these governors to account. Accountability is personal. It is not collective. And that is one thing that these governors must be reminded. Mr. Speaker, can I please request for 3 minutes added because my time was interrupted? Thank you.
Conclude your time first. You still have got 53 seconds.
Thank you,
then
Mr.
after
Speaker.
that, we will consider your request.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's about time for us to start issuing summons. I am not of the opinion for us to call these governors to come to plenary. I think we have able committees that can be able to carry out the work that they have been given. Calling them here is really just either indicating that we do not have the powers to be able to emphasize or rather ensure that these governors appear here. Article 125 is very clear, Mr. Speaker. The Senate, when a witness has the power to summon a witness anywhere in the world to appear before that committee to be able to respond. Article 226, subsection 5 of the Constitution is also quite clear.
Give Senator Olekina 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Proceed.
So I start now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Article 226, subsection 5. If a holder of a public office misappropriate funds, that person is liable, whether in office or outside office. So there's no point of us, really beating ourselves because these governors have decided not to appear. What is important is we must ask ourselves simple questions. When we summoned, were those summons worded clearly? Did they indicate the consequences? Mr. Speaker, we have a Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, Section 19, which is quite clear. It's got penalties. I believe the last time I checked is about 500,000, and we're about to amend it to 5 million shillings, and also 5 years in prison.
Senator Olekina, Senator Samson Cherargei wants to inform you. Do you want to be informed?
Absolutely.
Proceed, Senator Fonandi.
Thank you, my brother, Senator Ledama. And you spoke very well, by the way, when you were in the funeral. Thank you for that. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inform Senator Ledama that we have always issued summonses, I think, to now 10 governors. And it is well worded that they must appear. So, and I'm happy that the governor of Narok did appear, Olentutu, but almost 10 governors, their summonses have been issued, including yesterday the governor of Nairobi, the governor of Kericho, and the governor of Kisii. So I thought my brother would benefit because we have already under powers and privileges. I yield back my leader.
Very well. Thank you, Senator.
How much time do I have?
You have got
60 seconds. 60 seconds.
45 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for me to conclude my submissions, let me just reiterate that accountability cannot be boycotted. Yes. You may run away from it today, but tomorrow, when you are sitting down in your manicured mansion under a tree, a beautiful umbrella tree, you know, the law will catch up on you. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the PFM Act, and this is why I normally say, you know, governors, they don't sign any checks. The people who sign these checks are the CEOs and the CCs are the ones who, CC of Finance, in fact, Mr. Speaker, is the head of Treasury. So, Moses Kajwang, the chairperson of PAC, it is about time for you to now come up with a proper legal framework to be able to ensure that you call these people to account. Mr. Speaker, if I can...
Your time is up, Senator Olekina. Minority Leader, Senator Mazayo, the chairs have acceded to your request, and I want to give you the opportunity to proceed to comment.
Asante, mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza pia mimi nataka kuunga mkono ile taarifa ambayo ilikuja na kiongozi walio wengi ndani ya bunge letu la Senate, ndugu yangu Cheriot. Bwana Spika, cha muhimu ni kwamba ni lazima kuwe na uhusiano bora baina ya maseneta, hususan wale maseneta ambao katika kamati yetu ya kuchunguza matumizi ya pesa katika na Spika, Bwana Spika, nitetee kidogo manake naona kuna
Senator Cherargei, be a good student of discipline in class.
Yeah. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, jambo
very well, gets assisted, then you resume your seat. Proceed, Senator.
Asante, shukran Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, vile vile nataka kusema ya kwamba katika bunge la Senate na uongozi katika serikali zetu za mashinani ukiongozwa na magavana, inatakana kuwa na majukumu na kila mtu anajukumika kisheria na kikatiba. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba hivi sasa tuko katika eneo ambalo hatuelewani, na ndio sababu kumekuwa na hii mushkil. Lakini Bwana Spika, tutafanya bidii sisi kama viongozi wa bunge la Senate. Nataka kuhakikishia kwamba tutafanya bidii kuona ya kwamba tumeweza kukaa chini, kuongea na kuona tofauti zetu tumeziweza kuziweka sawa sawa. Bwana Spika, sioni kama kuna jambo lolote ambalo gavana akija katika bunge letu la Senate anaweza kuuliza swala ambalo hawezi kulijibu. Na pia vile vile tunasema kwamba kama ukipatiwa barua ya kwamba uje ndani ya bunge la Senate uweze kueleza mambo fulani ambayo yanatokea katika utendakazi wako wa matumizi ya pesa, sioni kama ni jambo baya. Ni mtu kufika, ni gavana kufika na kuweza kujieleza, na akishajieleza inakuwa ndio hivyo. Unawachia sasa bunge la Senate kuandika ripoti yake. Kwa hiyo tusichukulie kama ni jambo ambalo tunataka hatua kali chukuliwe ama namna gani. Ni utenda kazi, na kama utenda kazi wetu inaweza kwamba tunaweza kukaa na tukaweza kuongea. Ninayo imani na ninayo uhakika wa kwamba tunaweza kufaulu na hatimaye tukawa na mwelekeo mwema sote pamoja. Manake huyu akikunja ngumi, huyu akikunja ngumi, hasara inakuwa ni zile kaunti zetu za kule nyumbani. Mtaki Speaker, dakika 2 ama 1 kumalizia.
I'll add you 1 minute, Senator Manzayo.
Yeah. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, nasema ya kwamba yote 9, la 10 ni kwamba ni sharti magavana waje mbele ya kamati ya Senate ili waweze kujibu maswali yale ambayo yanahusikana na utumizi wa pesa, na hawawezi kusema kwamba hawatakuja kwa sababu katiba sivyo inavyosema. Katiba inasema ni lazima wale magavana waje mbele ya kamati ya bunge na waweze kusoa taarifa zao zile ambazo watakuwa wanaulizwa maswali na kujibu, na hatimaye ripoti kuandikwa kuhusikana na yale maswala. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator Mundige.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia mjadala unaendelea kuhusu magavana kuitwa kwa kamati. Mimi naunga mkono magavana wote wamekataa kuja waandikiwe barua waweze kuja kujibu maswali Bwana Spika, kwa sababu wakati tunapitisha pesa kwa mwaka sisi wote kaunti 47 huwa wanatulilia tuweze kuongezea pesa ndio ile mahitaji ya kaunti iweze kuendea njia ile mzuri. Aswa Bwana Spika, nashukuru sana pia kwa gavana wa Embu County ambaye ni Sisiri, ambaye wakati hii mambo yote iliendelea amehudhuria mara 2 kukuja kujibu maswali. Akujali ile mambo ilikuwa mbele, aliona ni vizuri akiwa mwenyekiti wa UNDA akuja ajibu maswali. Kwa hivyo nikiwa senator wa Embu County nasema governor yoyote ambaye amekataa kuja kujibu swali ni vizuri akuja ajibu swali kuonekane kazi inafanyika namna gani. Asua governor wa Nairobi, kuna mambo mengi sana Bwana Speaker imefanyika. Kwa sababu nakumbuka mwaka jana ile kipindi ambayo ilifanyika pale wa Kenya Power, alienda akasukua takataka akaenda kufunga njia, hakujulikana iliendelea namna gani, wakatafuta dialogue. Lakini Bwana Speaker, wakati mvua imenyesha, si ndio mvua ni Mungu ameilete, lakini kuna mambo mengine tukua sisi wafanyikazi wa county kama governor kujua kama ni drainage iko namna gani, kama ni mambo imefanyika namna gani, kwa sababu tumeona magari mingi imepepwa na maji. Tumeona watu wengi wamekufa, hata watu wengine wa Embu walikuwa pale. Kwanza kijana mmoja alikuwa asindikishwa jana. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, magavana kama governor wa Nairobi mpaka akuja ajibu maswali mambo ya drainages. Ukiangalia Bwana Speaker, county ya Nairobi inaendelea vizuri. Mambo ya kuwa watu ni wengi, magari ni mingi, angevaa kuja njibu mambo ya parapara itatengenezwa namna gani, kama ni dual carriage, kama ni bypass itakuwa namna gani. Pia nikimalizia Bwana Speaker, county ya Nairobi ndio sisi wote ni kama mama wetu au baba wetu, na tunajua county ya Nairobi ndio kubwa sana ambayo iko na deni ya bilioni 100,000 na watu wengi contractors wamekufa, wengine wameshotwa mali na wameteseka. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, naunga mkono magavana waitwe, na gavana wa kwanza kuja kujibu ni gavana wa Nairobi. Pia vice chairperson wa governors ambaye ni governor wa Tharaka Nithi ambaye alikuwa anjipiga kifua, ni njia mbaya sana katika Mount Kenya akiwa anjipiga kifua. Tunataka kuona hata kama ameitwa na kamati. Asante Bwana Speaker, naunga mkono.
Senator Manzo Daniel Kitonga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the killings by police, and as you have heard from the statement requested by Honorable Cherengai, the incident at the University of Nairobi, Kikuyu campus, the incident in what has happened recently in Elgeyo Marakwet County, and many other incidents, Mr. Speaker, including attacks on politicians, and nothing happens at all. Mr. Speaker, there must be a way the Constitution is fulfilled in this. It is not just about compensation to young people who get killed by police, either intentionally or accidentally. Mr. Speaker, under the law, there can only be a misadventure or somebody with intention or carelessly or negligently kills another person. Therefore, in the current situation, there is no case of misadventure. Clearly, the police have been on errand, like the case in Nandi, where young people were beaten up, and up to today, no report has been filed or an update by the police department as to what has happened into all this, whether the police oversight authority has done anything. I'm aware there are quite a number of prosecution cases which they have done, like one happened in Makueni where a young child was killed in a place called Kambu. The police officer now has been arrested and in fact has been denied bail by the High Court in Makueni for having threatened witnesses just before he was arrested by IPOA. And I think that particular case is commendable. I personally pushed for it when this lady had been arrested at police post. And now I'm happy some justice is happening. But there are other more than 100 cases, Mr. Speaker, where we need to see action, and especially where Mandamano was involved. And whether Mandamano or no Mandamano, life is very important. It's very important for everybody to be alive and their life not to be taken away from them, illegally or without due cause or due process. And even in a case where somebody is sentenced to murder, Mr. Speaker, nowadays under the new constitution, it is commuted into a life sentence, showing how important life is, and especially of young Kenyans, some who leave their homes without knowing they will accidentally die, like Rex Masai, who was on his way to work and finds there's a riot in town. Some who just out of excitement came to this house, Mr. Speaker, and lost their lives, through police. Mr. Speaker, the promise to compensate is not sufficient. You cannot.
Senator Manso, thank you. Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to comment on the statement by the Majority Leader on appearance of governors in the two oversight committees of the Senate, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I speak here as a two-term governor who faithfully and dutifully attended to all the summons in the Senate to account for the resources that was given to my responsibility as the governor of this county. I would want to urge the current governors that you cannot run away from accountability, whether now or in the future. In fact, my advice to the governors is that you are better off sorting your audit queries when you are still in office, because you still have access to documents and records for you to account for the activities or the services you've rendered the people in the money that we have appropriated to your counties. Honorable Speaker, it is quite unfortunate when you hear some governors saying they can't appear, it's not I don't know what. Yet every other financial year before revenue are shared between national and county governments, they are always at the doors of the chair of Finance Committee and the entire Senate, asking that we support them to get additional resources, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, from when devolution started in this country in 2013, a county like Uasin Gishu started with an allocation of 3.5 billion. Today, as we speak, courtesy of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, Uasin Gishu County receives over 10 billion Kenya shillings every financial year. It would therefore be callous of the governors to imagine that they can receive such amount of enormous resources and fail to account for them, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Senator Ledama that those governors must receive summons and appear before those committees, Honorable Speaker. And if they fail, Honorable Speaker, there are options for them to be frog-marched by the police, Honorable Speaker, to forcefully appear before those committees. And Honorable Speaker, we also want to ask the other sister institutions responsible for accountability. Honorable Speaker, when a governor refuses to appear and answer those audit queries before the Senate, then the EACC must kick in and straight away take that matter to court. I want to remind governors that the opportunity to appear before the committees is to enable them explain how the funds have been used in what has been queried
avail documents where the documents had not been availed. Failure to that, Honorable Speaker, it means EACC must kick in immediately. You are being given a bridge between being taken to court for those audit queries and to respond and explain before the two accountability committees of the Senate and the entire Senate. What we want to remind governors is that the senators that sit in those committees don't sit on their behalf. They sit on...
Senator Lemaletian, Hazana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to contribute to the statement by Senator Cherargei of Nandi County on the role of the Council of Governors in appointments to various boards, task forces, and committees. Mr. Speaker, the whole purpose or role of devolution was to ensure that each county has a representation at the national level, and to also ensure that there was an equitable distribution of national cake across the whole country, and especially the most marginalized parts of this country, like Samburu County and Turkana and the rest, Mr. Speaker. In my view, Mr. Speaker, there was need also to refer this statement also to the Committee on National Cohesion to be able to ensure that there is equal representation, especially taking into consideration very important factors like religion, ethnicity, and the regional diversity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is also the case of double remunerations that which we have been hearing a lot about it in the mainstream media, and there have been cases where people are employed twice. Mr. Speaker, it's very sad to know that this is happening in our country when majority of our youth in this country are jobless and deserve these positions. Mr. Speaker, when I was working for one of the state departments before I joined this honorable house, I was very disappointed that there were people who had already surpassed the age of retirement, and they were supposed to be back at home taking care of their great-grandchildren. But they were there trying to peep computers when we have so many unemployed people and youth across the country, Mr. Speaker. There is need to also right-size and ensure that the people who are employed are fit for the job. Last but not least, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to marginalization, those of us who come from marginalized parts of this country understand the pain of not being included in the sharing of the national revenue and national cake. And it's even more crippled by the fact that we do not have sufficient representation in offices that matter. Mr. Speaker, the work and role of these national boards is very critical. This is where they make very key decisions that influence how much resources are being pumped to, or distributed across the whole country. And therefore, it is very imperative that this matter is taken into serious consideration. And I'm happy that it is coming before my Committee of Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mwenda Gataya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement made by Majority Leader to the effect that accountability, Honorable Speaker, is not the creation of any committee of this House. It's a constitutional obligation, and I don't want to mention names, but I don't know where those people have gotten those powers to avoid accounting for the resources that have been given by them by this House. I remember, Honorable Speaker, we have been very, very, very instrumental in making sure that we devolve resources to the counties. Actually, we work in unison across the board, all the senators, to make sure that all the counties have their money. I remember the last few weeks, Honorable Speaker, we had equitable share, where some 11 counties benefited from some millions of money from those counties that are marginalized. Honorable Speaker, when a governor fails to appear before a committee to account for the resources, that act, Honorable Speaker, borders on criminality and abuse of law. And I want to agree with the sentiments of quite a number of senators who have expressed some delay. It's important, Honorable Speaker, that we need to summon those governors before the committee of the whole House, so that those people, governors that have been wrong, they can come and explain to the House why they have not been able to appear before the committees that are supposed to oversight on them. I think it's important, Honorable Speaker. This is not something that we can negotiate. We are not the creators of the Constitution. The Constitution is the Kenyan document. It's not something, it's the creation of any committee of this House. So when a governor refused to appear before any committee to account for the results that have been given to them by the Constitution, by this committee, that one borders on criminality, it borders on abuse of law, and we must compel those governors to appear before those relevant committees to say what they have been able to do with those money on behalf of the people that represent their respective counties. I support, Honorable Speaker.
Senator John Muhia Methu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to comment on this statement that has been sought by the Leader of Majority. And thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for indulging us to make comments on this. Mr. Speaker, sir, it has never and it shall never be a favor or a privilege to the Senate for a governor to appear to answer questions that have been raised by the Auditor General. And Mr. Speaker, sir, sometimes many people confuse many things. We are not the first and we are not the primary. We don't hold the primary responsibility on audit on counties, Mr. Speaker. This is audit that has already been carried out by the Office of the Auditor General. There are documents that have been asked by the Auditor General, and you are not able to provide them. That is where it is raised as an audit query. So if governors are really as clean as they purport to be, they would have provided the documents at the first point of audit, because once you provide those the documents at the point of audit, you get unqualified audit opinions, Mr. Speaker, and it is not a feat that has not been achieved. I think the governor from Makueni has already achieved this particular feat. So therefore, you should not even be disturbing the Senate that you are appearing or not. Why don't you first provide these documents, because they have been sought for? And Mr. Speaker, sir, it cannot be, and we must compel governors to appear before the Senate. We have to use every available tool to ensure that we have governors appear before the Senate. And as it has been aptly put by some of my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, in fact, where I find this statement a bit defective is we are speaking of them appearing before CPAC, Mr. Speaker. This is a chronic disease across all committees, both the CPIC, in the other committee that you people drew me to, the Committee on Education. We were expecting to have the governor. I think the governor for Isiolo yesterday, he didn't appear. And Mr. Speaker, sir, it is the governors are refusing to appear before the Senate through its committees, Mr. Speaker. And I've been able to just scan through the Constitution. And Mr. Speaker, if there's one word that has been repeated consistently, Mr. Speaker, including Chapter 13 of public service, in terms of values and principles of public service, one of them, Mr. Speaker, is efficient, effective, and economic use of resources. Another is accountability for administrative acts. Another one is transparency and provision to the public of timely and accurate information. Mr. Speaker, sir, what the Senate is asking for is the documents of expenditure that has happened in all our county governments, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, as I wind up my thoughts on this particular matter, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that the governors are our friends. They
give Senator Methu 30 seconds to conclude.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be, Mr. Speaker, that governors are foaming in the mouth when they are telling us to push the allocation, the equitable allocation from the national government, Mr. Speaker, to 450 billion, 500 billion, and when they get the money, they don't want to account for that money, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that we force them, and the word is force, we must force them to appear before the Senate so that they can come and say, what have you been doing with all this money that you are sending to your counties? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lastly, I'll allow the chairperson of CPAC committee, Senator Kajwang, to comment on this statement or any other statement for that matter that was earlier on raised. Senator Kajwang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I deliberately chose to speak last because I wanted to get the advice and counsel of my colleagues. And I've taken a lot of points from members of this Senate on how we should proceed with this matter. I'd like to thank the Majority Leader for seeing it fit to issue that statement. When this matter first came up, I made it very clear that it is not a personal matter. It is not about certain individuals that sit in certain committees. It is an institutional matter where another institution sits down and looks for loopholes and backdoors that they can use to avoid being held accountable. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank your office and the leadership of this House for never at any point making this an issue about the personalities in various committees, but an issue about the institution of the Senate. As the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, I am aware that I hold that position in trust. It is this House that has mandated me to be the chair of that committee. I will take the advice, I will take the proposal made by the Majority Leader that if a governor refuses to come and you send the police to arrest them and bring them, and the police decide not to do so, we are not powerless. We have power as a House that writes laws, a House that divides revenue, a House that allocates revenue, a House that determines the formula, a House that writes laws cannot be powerless in the face of a small group of governors who have decided to exercise impunity. And so I want to assure the House that we shall take proper legal advice. The Minority Whip has asked us to ensure that everything we do is lawful, and we shall ensure that everything we do is within the confines of the law. We shall look at jurisprudence, if there have been any court decisions in the past that can guide our actions and subsequent recommendations to the House. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the committee I lead, and I see some of the members are here, Senior Counsel, Senator Wambua, and several others, and many other members. Senator Methu has been a member of that committee, including Senator Ledamo Olekina, the author of the first fiduciary risk report, that we shall remain firm, we shall be steadfast, we shall stand with this House, we shall stand with the people. Ultimately, the money that goes to counties does not go to the pockets of governors. It goes to provide medication, seed, fertilizer, and all those other public goods that our people deserve. We shall never at any point encourage this House to reduce allocations to county governments, Mr. Speaker. That must be made clear. County governments should continue to get more and more, because governors come, governors go, but counties will always remain, and the Senate will always remain. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and again, I want to thank the Majority Leader for bringing that statement.
Now, Honourable Senators, that brings us to the end of comments to the statements. And for purposes of further processing the business of the House, I will rearrange the order paper and call order number 20. Clerk, please call out order number 20.
Order number 20, the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2025, second reading.
Senator Okongo Omogeni.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm moving the Health Amendment Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, the gist of the amendment is that I propose to amend the Health Act by inserting a new Section 7.
Senator Okongo Omogeni, you know you are senior to quite a number of us in the House. Kindly properly proceed to move your motion appropriately.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2025, be read a second time.
Now you may now proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. The amendment, Mr. Speaker, proposes to amend the Health Act 2025, Mr. Speaker, by inserting a new Section 7A to address a number of issues affecting those who are not able to pay medical bills that are incurred in our public hospitals and in some cases in our private hospitals. Mr. Speaker, I am sure that all of us senators from our respective counties, we have had instances, Mr. Speaker, where those we refer to as hustlers, those who are not well endowed financially, get attended to in hospitals, they incur medical bills, Mr. Speaker, but because they don't have the economic means, Mr. Speaker, they end up not paying their medical bills, either in public hospital, Mr. Speaker, or in private hospitals. And Mr. Speaker, what has been happening, which is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, is that hospitals have resorted to recovering their debts by either detaining patients, in some instances, detaining mothers and their young children in hospital as a way of holding them in lien till their debt is paid. So, Mr. Speaker, the proposal on the table through this amendment is to outlaw any detention of a patient or a corpse due to an outstanding fee incurred in relation to any treatment offered in a health facility. And Mr. Speaker, to make that proposed amendment effective, Section 7A, subsection 2, Mr. Speaker, proposes that anybody who is in charge of a health facility who contravenes that section that outlaws detention commits an offense. And thirdly, Mr. Speaker, so that we have a buy-in from the government, Mr. Speaker, I've proposed in clause 3 that the Cabinet Secretary responsible for health issues will make regulations on the enforcement of this proposed amendment. Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize before the honorable senators here that this amendment is anchored on a number of constitutional rights that are guaranteed in our Constitution 2010. Mr. Speaker, we all know that when the 2010 Constitution was enacted, it created a very vibrant Bill of Rights, Mr. Speaker. And some of the rights that were guaranteed to Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, is what is found in Article 43 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to read the entire of Article 43, but in a nutshell, Mr. Speaker, Article 43 states that every Kenyan is entitled to a right to the highest attainable standard of health, including the right to access health services. Mr. Speaker, this right belongs to the rich, to the mighty, and to the poor, Mr. Speaker, or to the less privileged within our society, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, when Kenyans enacted Article 43, Mr. Speaker, they knew, Mr. Speaker, that amongst us, there are those, Mr. Speaker, who are not well endowed financially to meet their bills the way me and other honorable senators are able to, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the fact that a Kenyan does not have the financial means, Mr. Speaker, to meet certain financial obligations, especially when that Kenyan is in need of health care services, Mr. Speaker, does not mean that they lose their dignity, Mr. Speaker. Worse still, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that there are some fundamental articles in our Constitution that are breached any time you detain a patient because of inability to pay for their medical bills. Mr. Speaker, being a lawyer, you know what is provided for in Article 29 of our Constitution, which states that nobody should be deprived of their liberty arbitrarily, Mr. Speaker, by detaining a patient who was walked into a health facility, received medical attention, and then instead of releasing that patient, you detain them till they settle their bills, Mr. Speaker. That is tantamount to depriving that citizen of their liberty arbitrarily, Mr. Speaker. Second, Mr. Speaker, Article 28 of our Constitution, Mr. Speaker, obligates all of us Kenyans to ensure that any treatment that we vest on any Kenyan incorporates human dignity, Mr. Speaker, so that anything that is inherently degrading to any Kenyan is a clear violation, Mr. Speaker, of Article 28 of our Constitution, Mr. Speaker. And I want to state here, Mr. Speaker, as a person from the great county of Nyamira who has had personal experiences, Mr. Speaker, where mothers have given birth in hospitals and been detained for more than a month with their young children, Mr. Speaker, because of inability to pay for their medical bills, Mr. Speaker. In one instance, Mr. Speaker, and that's what has moved me to come with this amendment. A poor mother, Mr. Speaker, was detained, and I don't want to give her names because I want to respect the dignity of that Kenyan, Mr. Speaker, was detained in an hospital, but because she was not able to pay for her bills, Mr. Speaker, she was forced to sleep on the floor with her child, Mr. Speaker, because the hospital was saying only those patients that are able to pay their bills will be allowed to enjoy the facilities of a bed and a mattress, Mr. Speaker. Just imagine that kind of degrading treatment. In another instance, Mr. Speaker, I had to intervene, Mr. Speaker, when our National Referral Hospital detained a patient, Mr. Speaker, who was knocked down by a vehicle, rushed by the police to Kenyatta National Hospital for emergency treatment, Mr. Speaker, after staying in that hospital for a record 58 days, Mr. Speaker. That poor Kenyan incurred a bill of 1.7 million shillings. And when he passed on, Mr. Speaker, the hospital refused to release that body, insisting that they were detaining that body as lien for the recovery of that debt. You are a lawyer, Mr. Speaker, and you know, Mr. Speaker, that in law, Mr. Speaker, you cannot claim property in a dead body. There is no property in a dead body, Mr. Speaker. We all know, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, to bring to an end this kind of degrading treatment, Mr. Speaker, we are proposing that we legislate, Mr. Speaker, to make it criminal for any health facility, Mr. Speaker, to detain a person solely on inability to pay for any medical expenses incurred in our hospital. Mr. Speaker, I know that as a country we are moving towards universal health coverage, Mr. Speaker. You and I, Mr. Speaker, pay a lot of money towards SHA because we want to contribute for those who are not able to pay for their either insurance or for getting that SHA card, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know that you, I, and every other senator, every month, we contribute a whooping 43,000 shillings, Mr. Speaker. While there are Kenyans who pay as low as 800, we pay more, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that these poor Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, the less privileged in society, can enjoy from our contributions, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, really there is no justification, Mr. Speaker, for us as a parliament continuing to see the kind of suffering that Kenyans go through. Mr. Speaker, what I've stated this afternoon that is incorporated in our Constitution is also backed by best international standards and many other international conventions. Mr. Speaker, we all know that under Article 2, sub-Article 6 of our Constitution, any treaty or any convention that has been ratified by Kenya shall form part of our laws, Mr. Speaker. That's in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights that has been ratified by Kenya, our country, in Article 11, states very clearly that no one shall be imprisoned merely for inability to pay a debt or discharge a contractual obligation, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if international conventions have acknowledged, Mr. Speaker, that it is unlawful, illegal to detain or imprison somebody for inability to pay a debt, Mr. Speaker, on what basis can a hospital, Mr. Speaker, purport to detain a patient or a corpse, Mr. Speaker? Near home, Mr. Speaker, the African Charter on Human and People Rights, Mr. Speaker, which again, going by the provisions of Article 2, Sub-Article 6, has been ratified by Kenya, Mr. Speaker, states, Mr. Speaker, that no one may be deprived of his freedom except for reasons and conditions previously laid down by law, Mr. Speaker. In particular, and I lay more emphasis there, no one may be arbitrarily detained, Mr. Speaker. So by us allowing our health facilities to detain any Kenyan purportedly due to inability to pay for their medical expenses, Mr. Speaker, we are contravening our Constitution, we are contravening international conventions that we have ratified as a country, Mr. Speaker, and every act, Mr. Speaker, done by those hospitals is unconstitutional, Mr. Speaker. Further, Mr. Speaker, there is no law. I've gone through all our statutes, Mr. Speaker. There is no law that allows anybody to detain another person as a means of debt recovery. There is no law, Mr. Speaker, to that effect. There is an option, Mr. Speaker, for hospitals to recover those debts. You can sue for a civil debt, Mr. Speaker. If the person refusing to pay is in a well-paying job, Mr. Speaker, you can garnish their salary, Mr. Speaker. You have all those options. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the issues I'm raising this afternoon as I move this amendment have been tested in our courts of law, Mr. Speaker. And on numerous occasions, Mr. Speaker, when courts have been faced with cases on detention of patients in hospitals or detention of corpses for non-payment of bills, Mr. Speaker, courts have ruled, Mr. Speaker, that detention of such patients for inability to pay their medical bills is unlawful, is arbitrary, and is unconstitutional. So there is no doubt, Mr. Speaker, that what is provided for in the Constitution has gotten favor, Mr. Speaker, from our courts, Mr. Speaker, through judicial pronouncements. Mr. Speaker, I've also tried to look at, maybe the prevailing best international standards in many countries. Mr. Speaker, in the UK, Mr. Speaker, under the National Health Service, Mr. Speaker, patients cannot be detained in hospitals simply because they are unable to pay hospital bills. That is from our former colonial master in the UK, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the emphasis, just like what is provided for in our Article 43 of Constitution, is that the obligation is to ensure that if a patient is brought to a hospital, what can be criminal is failure to give medical attention to that patient. That's what can be criminalized, but not the idea of saying somebody came, got treatment, and is not able to pay their medical bills. Mr. Speaker, in the UK, hospitals do not have the legal power to detain a patient for unpaid medical bills. None at all, Mr. Speaker. Even if you go to Google or internet, Mr. Speaker, you will not find any instance where a hospital in UK, Mr. Speaker, has detained a patient for inability to pay their medical bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you go to the US, Mr. Speaker, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, Mr. Speaker, again places emphasis on an obligation to attend to an emergency, Mr. Speaker, to treat a patient first before you deal with issues of recovery of a debt, Mr. Speaker. And the issue of detention because of non-payment of any bill is actually illegal in the US, Mr. Speaker. You cannot hold a patient hostage or a corpse hostage because they are unable to pay for their medical bills. But you can file a lawsuit, Mr. Speaker. You can do their creative damage, which you can do in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. If Senator Omogeni takes a member of his family, God forbid, in a hospital, and I run away from paying my debts, list me under the credit rating to damage my reputation, Mr. Speaker. If not, file a lawsuit in a court of law, Mr. Speaker. If you get the court orders, you can garnish my salary, Mr. Speaker. Or if I have any asset, Mr. Speaker, come after me, Mr. Speaker. In Rwanda, Mr. Speaker, there is a very strong public health approach to making sure that the poor access health care services in Rwanda here, Mr. Speaker. So, if you look around many jurisdictions, Mr. Speaker, we don't have jurisdictions where this very bad practice of detaining patients is encouraged or even tolerated, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, in moving this bill, Mr. Speaker, we want to send a message, Mr. Speaker, that we value those who are not well privileged in our societies, but also acknowledge the fact that, Mr. Speaker, they have a right to access medical services, just like any Kenyan, Mr. Speaker, and to re-emphasize, Mr. Speaker, that they have a right to be treated in a very dignified manner and not in a very undignified manner, Mr. Speaker. Detention for non-payment of bills or holding patients hostage, Mr. Speaker, is a practice that this Senate should condemn, Mr. Speaker, by enacting this particular bill, Mr. Speaker, so that we ensure that Article 43 has rights that can be enjoyed by all Kenyans. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, if I ask Senator Wambua or Senator Mugatana or my good friend, Chair of Labour, Senator Murgor, these are instances that has affected one or two of, or even many, of their residents from their respective counties, Mr. Speaker. So I seek the support of honorable senators, Mr. Speaker, so that this bill can see the light of the day, Mr. Speaker, so that the great people of the county of Kitui, the great people of the county of Nyamira, West Pokot, Tana River, Mr. Speaker, can enjoy the rights that are enshrined in Article 43 of the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to take a lot of time because I want to donate time to my friend Senator Wambua to second this bill. But I urge senators, Mr. Speaker, to back this bill that will bring smiles and dignity to those who are underprivileged in our society. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker, and ask Senator Wambua to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senior Counsellor Konko Mogeni. In fact, as a matter of precedence, the pronouncements the courts have made on this have used some specific quotes, including the fact that you cannot punish poverty to the extent that even if one Senator Wambua gives There's a problem with the mic. Try now the mic. Just on my end, it's up. Now you are on, Senator Wambua. The system has now picked up. You just may need to try and use the dispatch.
I thank you, the Speaker. The Speaker, I'm not sure about many things, but I'm sure that this is not sabotage in any way. That I am sure about. The Speaker, I rise to second the Health Amendment Bill 2025 as ably moved by Senior Counsel Senator for Nyamira, Senator Mogeni, who is also our Commissioner. Mr. Speaker, in seconding this bill, I want to begin by thanking the Senator of Nyamira for taking time to think through the issue of detention or confinement of patients, and worse still, the detention of corpses in hospitals and hospital morgues. Mr. Speaker, I fully support the proposed new section 7A 1, which seeks to outlaw the detention of patients or corpses on account of non-payment of fees, but further moves the next step to propose a penalty for breach, but does not stop there. It also provides solutions for hospitals to recover their monies where patients are unable to promptly pay up. Mr. Speaker, because you have made reference to the courts, I want to draw the attention of this House to what I would personally, as a layman, consider a landmark ruling in this respect of the case between Emma Muthoni and the Nairobi Women's Hospital, where Emma was admitted to the facility on the 23rd of March 2018, discharged on May 14th of the same year, but detained at the facility for 5 months until October 19th on account of payment of the hospital bill. And the court, Mr. Speaker, pronounced itself in a manner that I thought perhaps then it would set the stage for other hospitals, other health facilities in determining how to deal with patients under their care. And the court found that detention of EMA and by extension the detention of any patient in any hospital infringes on constitutional rights and fundamental freedoms of a person under Article 28 on human dignity, Article 29 on the freedom and security of the person, Article 39 on the freedom of movement, and of course specifically on Article 43 on the right to access the highest attainable standards of health. Mr. Speaker, most of the facilities that detain patients or corpses argue that they have no mechanism of at a later date getting their bills paid, and so they opt to detain the patient. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we must do, and this law helps us to do, is to strike a healthy balance between the right to attain or to access the highest attainable standards of health for the patient, and also the right for hospitals and health facilities to do clean, profitable business. As Speaker, I must appreciate that the rise of legitimate private facilities in itself is a statement on the inability of public health institutions to adequately take care of the health needs of our citizenry. Going further down, Mr. Speaker, the mushrooming of fake health facilities is also a statement on the ability or the inability of both private institutions and public health institutions to sufficiently address the health needs of our citizens. And so, Mr. Speaker, that is the reason that the Speaker of the Senate led all of us, Mr. Speaker, while sitting in Lodwar in Turkana County between September 25th to September 29th of 2023 during the Senate Mashinani. And Mr. Speaker, it shall be remembered that it was during that sitting in Turkana County that the Senate passed enabling legislation towards the attainment of universal health care. We had a very robust engagement, Mr. Speaker, and both sides of the aisle, Mr. Speaker, the Senate, we came up with legislation that we thought would therefore now make some of these practices a thing of the past. Arising, Mr. Speaker, and as a consequence of those legislations that we passed, Mr. Speaker, you and I and all of us in the Senate and members of the National Assembly, as the Senator for Nyamira has reminded us, we are paying every month 43,000 Kenya shillings, every month, towards the attainment of universal health coverage, which, Mr. Speaker, ideally should ensure that all of us, those who are privileged to be in formal employment or in big businesses, and those of us, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans, who are at the bottom of the economic pyramid, are able to access the same health care both in private and in public institutions. And so, Mr. Speaker, the expectation on of Kenyans and the expectations of those of us in leadership was that, Mr. Speaker, after passing these very critical pieces of legislation, then the talk about mothers and children being detained for months without end in hospitals for lack of payment of hospital bills that have fallen due would clearly become a thing of the past. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we are still there. I'm hoping, Mr. Speaker, that on the strength of this amendment by Senator Onyamira, added to the other pieces of legislation on universal health coverage, Mr. Speaker, then we shall ultimately bury this bad behavior, bad manners on the part of hospitals to detain patients in hospitals and corpses, Mr. Speaker, in mortuaries. Mr. Speaker, because we live in this country, all of us, we have heard the vigor with which the President of the Republic has spoken on the need to actualize universal health coverage. We have heard the President of the Republic, and I'm very sure the Senator of Tana River has heard this and will confirm if he gets a chance to contribute to this motion, that the President has actually told Kenyans that if you go to a health facility and people are asking you to pay for treatment, call the police, because you should not be paying for payment or for treatment. How is it, Mr. Speaker, that Kenyans are not just being asked to pay for treatment, they are being detained on account of hospital bills and mortuary fees? Mr. Speaker, as I move towards a conclusion of my seconding of this motion, I want to go back to what you said as you called on me to second this motion. Mr. Speaker, you cannot criminalize poverty. And nobody chooses to be at the bottom of the pyramid economically. Everybody would want to live well. Mr. Speaker, it is almost obvious that as long as we are here, as long as we are among the lot of privileged Kenyans, we may not have to suffer the indignity of being detained in a hospital for lack of payment of hospital bills. Speaker, what is good for us is good for every Kenyan in terms of health care. And I do hope, Mr. Speaker, and pray that even as we debate this proposed amendment, we remember that this is a matter of great national interest across the country. For Kenyans living in areas that consider themselves being on the government side, and those who live in areas that are on the opposition side, health, Mr. Speaker, does not discriminate against economic status. And so, Mr. Speaker, it should be incumbent on us, all of us in the Senate, to pass this proposed amendment and make sure, Mr. Speaker, that upon the passing of this amendment, then it should be the last piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker, that we will pass before Kenyans begin to enjoy the real fruits of universal health coverage. Mr. Speaker, those of us who subscribe to the Christian faith, and I know the Senator for Nyamira is a very strong SDA. He subscribes to the Christian faith, he reads the Bible. He told me that at some point he was a member of the Pathfinders. I don't know whether he's still there or he has outgrown it. Now he says he's old, he's past that. But Mr. Speaker, those of us who read the Bible, and a lot of us in this house do, including the Secretariat, I'm very sure they also read the Bible. Mr. Speaker, at some point, a woman in the Bible anointed the feet of Jesus with very expensive oil. And some people complained, some of the disciples complained, including Judas, who later betrayed Jesus and who was the carrier of the bag, the purse. They said that oil could have been sold and the proceeds distributed among the poor. And Jesus said that the less privileged will be with you all the time. But I am with you for a while. So, Speaker, that testimony by the Son of God, captured in the Synoptic Gospels of Matthew 26, Mark 14, and John 12, is a reminder to all of us that we must be prepared to take care of the less privileged members of our society all the time. Because you're going to have them, Mr. Speaker. It's not an emergency. Having people who are less privileged in our society is not an emergency. It's a constant. It is something that we must prepare for and afford them, Mr. Speaker, and accord them the dignity that is due to humanity. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I second.
Thank you, Senator Wambua. Now, honorable senators, I proceed to propose the question that the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable members, it is now available for contribution by members, and I will invite Senator Mungatana to contribute to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make my contribution in support of this amendment. Mr. Speaker, may I start by congratulating the Honorable Okongo Mogeni, who has worked on this bill and it has reached at this stage. Very proud, Mr. Speaker, because the Honorable Senator was my classmate at the university, and I'm so glad that he has continued to maintain these high standards of work. Mr. Speaker, I fully agree with the statements in seconding this bill by the Honorable, my neighbor, Mheshimiwa, for saying what really has been happening. Mheshimiwa Wambua has said that Kenyans are suffering, and Mr. Speaker, we have the responsibility to make sure that the lives of our people who brought us here are living now will be better by the time we leave this place. Mr. Speaker, the courts in Kenya have been very consistent on this matter. And Mr. Speaker, in the case of Kenyan National Hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital versus Harun Mwau, In this case, Mr. Speaker, the court stated very clearly in its holding that a corpse cannot constitute a collateral. You cannot hold a corpse as a collateral for debt. You have the option of civil recovery. Mr. Speaker, in the case of JMV versus the Attorney General, the High Court held that detaining a body violates human dignity, and also it violates the right to family. Mr. Speaker, in this case, the court gave an outright order that that body must be released forthwith. Mr. Speaker, the High Court in the case of Ochieng and others versus the Kenyatta National Hospital is stated again, restating the principle that medical bills are civil debts, and civil debts have a procedure for recovery under civil law. So, Mr. Speaker, the court said if the hospitals want to enforce their rights to the debt that has occurred, they have a right to institute civil proceedings and recover the money, but they cannot detain the body of a person who has left us. Mr. Speaker, in Tana River County, we hold people who have passed away in very high regard. And Mr. Speaker, I have no known case in Tana River where the public hospitals or even private hospitals have been able to detain a body, because our customs on all the tribes, be it the Pokomo, the Orma, the Wardei, the Munyoyaya, the Wailuana, and all the other tribes, the Wata, and all the tribes that are in our county, we hold the deceased person in very high regard. And we cannot, under any circumstance, Mr. Speaker, allow a hospital to hold a body because they want to enforce a debt. This has never happened in our county, Mr. Speaker. At least I can report something good, because it's against the customs of Africa. And it goes everywhere, Mr. Speaker. In South Africa, Mr. Speaker, the courts there have said holding a body so that you can enforce payment by a hospital, it is not only against human dignity and illegal, but it's against cultural rights, which rhymes with what we do in Tana River County. Mr. Speaker, we need to codify this law. The courts have said it many times, but we need to codify it. That's why I congratulate the Honorable Senator, because amending the law to bring in Section 7A now makes it a criminal offense for any hospital, for any official to withhold that dead body. So as we pass this law today, I want to announce to all Kenyans, to the private hospitals, because you are the biggest crooks in this area, you are the biggest offenders. You think that you can hold a body of a person while people are grieving. You are looking for money, even in a dead body. We are saying now, we will not wait for the court to make a ruling. We will not wait for an order of the court. We will arrest you. We will file a formal complaint in a police station. Your case is a criminal case. You will be taken to court, and from your nice hospital gown, we shall change that into a nice prison gown. We want this to go to everyone. Even as we process this law today, you must stop this evil habit that is coming from the bottom of hell. This country, Mr. Speaker, needs to treat every citizen equally, whether you are broke, whether you have money, whether you are in the middle. You must be treated fairly, especially, Mr. Speaker, where you're dealing with very strong emotions when your beloved person leaves the world. So, Speaker, and I can be personal here. I remember when I lost my first wife, Mr. Speaker. You were in that hospital, and you are inside there watching a person that you have spent a number of years together, got children together, beautiful children together, and you are watching your partner losing life as the organs failed one by another. And there is nothing you can do, even in a privileged position where you can call the brain surgeon, the heart surgeon, the kidney specialist, every specialist, and you can see this medicine, when you put it too much, it will interfere with the blood. So this specialist is arguing with the other specialist. Don't put in too much, this one, and finally, you can see it's a multiple organ failure. You come out of that theater, Mr. Speaker, your kids are looking at you, and imagine if in that situation, I wasn't able to raise the money for the body, and then I have to struggle with the kids and all the emotions, and then you still can't get the body. Mr. Speaker, that is the worst punishment you can give a person who has lost a loved one. And this is what Kenyans are going through. So this law, we needed it like yesterday, Mr. Speaker. And I really want to urge every senator who will speak to this bill, Mr. Speaker, to enforce the fact that you cannot punish poverty. Let people lay their beloved ones in dignity, Mr. Speaker. What is it that is so important with this money, Mr. Speaker? That people do anything for it, including holding a dead body. We're going to leave it all here. We'll never carry it outside this place, Mr. Speaker. Every person who has narrated a near-death experience, or those who have gone and said they went and saw and came back, they never said that what they saw were visions of money. There's no money there. There's no American dollar. There's no Kenyan shilling there. There are no banks. There's no central bank there. They say they have seen angels. They say they have seen their grandmothers. They have seen their fathers who went before them. Life, Mr. Speaker, is superior to these things that we hold so dearly to. And I want to go to the hospitals again. Those who are still in this backward practice of holding people's bodies. Shame on you for putting money ahead of people's lives. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague, the Honorable Okongo Mogeni, went to give the international experience and spoke about the UK correctly. I will add that in the US, even though the law varies between states, the general principle is that you cannot hold a dead body What you need to do, you recover from the estate of the deceased person. Alternatively, the insurance company would pay for you. Mr. Speaker, in India, the Supreme Court has outlawed that practice. So, what we are doing today, Mr. Speaker, we are doing what is standard practice out there. In the Philippines, Mr. Speaker, it was normal to hold bodies and hold them as lien so that the owners or the family can pay that debt. But even in the Philippines, Mr. Speaker, now they have passed a law to say that is never going to happen again. So, Mr. Speaker, I really want to say that the message must go out there. Let us not commercialize death. Let us not hold the bodies of the departed. Let us even start now, before this law is signed by the president. Let us practice, and those who are not doing it, you must know that the courts are ahead in this one, and it is wrong for you to do that. But if you insist, once this law becomes, it is codified and it is signed by the president, then all we will do is to arrest you people and put you with the worst criminals. And I will urge the officers in charge of prisons, when you see a doctor or an owner of a hospital or an official who has been brought because he was detaining a body from a departed one, that one should be put in the worst cells. He should be put with the worst gangsters, the ones who can just squeeze your head so that he's squeezed at night and goes to court in the morning, denied bail, returned back and squeezed again, because you are a worse criminal than any other type of criminal we know. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support. I thank you.
Senator Samson Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. From the onset, I want to support this Health Amendment Bill of 2025, Senate Bill number 12. And for the first time, I want to congratulate my successor in Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights Commissioner Okongo Omugeni. I think this is senior counsel. If you are going to churn very brilliant and Solomonic bills as this on the floor of the House, we are surely proud of what you are doing. Mr. Speaker, this bill will be revolutionary. And I'm happy that the courts have gone ahead of us by making serious and decisional precedents, Mr. Speaker, on matters to do with detention of dead bodies. I want to appeal most Kenyans, and Senator Okongo Omugeni will agree, whenever we are on, especially whenever we are on recess or when we are weekend, Mr. Speaker, sir, even in Bomet or Nyamira or Nandi or Tana River, Mr. Speaker, most of the Arambes we do in weekends are over dead bodies, detention of dead bodies, issue of medical bills which are unpaid, and the people have justified. Mr. Speaker, this is very unfortunate. And you know this very well, because you have been in this game of politics and leadership for some time, that it is very costly. Most families have lost their property, Mr. Speaker. They have lost their lives. Some families, and I want to empathize and sympathize with my brother, Senator Danson Mungatana, because I can imagine the shock, the depression, the horrendous, Mr. Speaker. Many people are treating depression, sugar and pressure because either the sick are detained over unpaid bills or the dead bodies. And I wish Senator Okongo Omugeni would have also included the detention of people who have recovered and yet they have detained. Because as Senator Mungatana has said, the courts have decided also detaining people who have fully recovered in wards without releasing them, Mr. Speaker, is also unconstitutional, abuse to human rights and violation. And I hope at the third reading we should be able to add that in terms of introduction of Section 7A to the Health Act, Mr. Speaker, of 2017, which our brother has aptly put it, because these matters need to be addressed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I make my opening remarks before going to the substratum, there is a small matter of Kenya and Nairobi Hospital. Because there are many hospitals which are done privately. They are either run by religious organizations. They are run by Kenya Association of Medical Doctors in the country, Mr. Speaker. And what is happening in Nairobi Hospital is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. And I wanted to thank the President for trying to intervene on this matter. Because in as much as we have these health facilities across the country, they must be run professionally. The reason they detain bodies, even what is happening in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Eldoret, is so arrested, Mr. Speaker. Outright theft, complacency and corruption is thriving in our hospitals, Mr. Speaker, even in referral hospitals of this republic. And that is why when the President tried to intervene, because, Mr. Speaker, you have to aware, and the goodness is that the commissioner, who is our employer, is the mover of this patient. He knows Nairobi used to be listed as one of the hospitals providing medical cover to the employees under Parliamentary Service Commission. Until the other day when it went down, and out of the wisdom of the PSC, they decided to remove Nairobi Hospital because they were no longer providing services that members needed. And Mr. Speaker, since these are health matters, we must be fair to this country. And you know, when I see people saying in media that why was the President involved, they are not telling the nation that all the presidents of the Republic have been the patrons of Nairobi Hospital, starting from the Jomo Kenyatta, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, Mzee Mwai Kibaki, Uhuru Kenyatta, and now William Ruto. It is provided as the custodian of the hospital. And I think the colleagues who are doing politics want to score political bonga points, Mr. Speaker, which is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. We want our hospitals to function. From Kipsamoite Dispensary Hospital in Mosop, Mr. Speaker, to Kenyatta National Hospital, to the private sector, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is, you see Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. It is being underfunded. There is the issue of corruption. There was money that was lost through e-citizen and mismanagement and bad governance. This can only, you know, I'm talking about public referral hospital because these are hospitals also who participate in detaining of the patients over unpaid medical bills, and also, Mr. Speaker, over detaining the dead bodies, which is very unfortunate. Mr. Speaker,
you know, Senator Chirargei, Senior Counsel Commissioner Kongo Mogeni knows how to attract the eye of the
okay,
chair.
Proceed.
He has not done so. So you may proceed until such a time that he appreciates the process of seeking the intervention of the chair.
So, Mr. Speaker, what I was trying to put across, and it's good Senator Metu has just walked in when I'm driving the point hot and dry.
Senator Chirargei, just hold your voice. Senior Counsel is attempting to attract the eye of the chair. Are you willing to be informed by Senator Kongo Mogeni?
Mr. Speaker, Senior Counsel can always inform me on these matters only.
All right, Senator
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to inform Senator Chirargei. He has made some pronouncement to the effect that Parliamentary Service Commission has removed Nairobi Hospital from facilities that are enlisted to provide medical services. And I wanted to inform you that that statement may send wrong message that Nairobi Hospital is no longer listed with Parliament I think that's not the case. Yeah, that's not the case. They are still listed with the Parliamentary Service Commission. It was just an issue of some misunderstanding, but they are still empaneled. So you can seek your medical attention from the Nairobi hospital. Thank you.
Very well. Proceed, Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for that information. And I hope as the crisis happens in Nairobi Hospital, the services will also improve, because we hope, because it is one of the premium hospitals in the country. And I hope the Parliamentary Service Commission also will do due diligence, because the last time I went there, Mr. Speaker, the services were not very good. I hope they'll rectify. I had to stay over 1 or 2 hours before receiving medical attention in Nairobi Hospital, and therefore the President's intervention was very timely in terms of bringing good governance, a corporate responsibility. And I want to send Senator Metu to his newfound political soulmate, the former deputy, to advise him to keep off matters to do with health, Mr. Speaker. They can do politics with anything else, but not let us allow the health sector to thrive. You remember, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the numbers of social health authority that have registered under SHA, Nyeri County, the home county of former Deputy President, Mr. Speaker, is leading in terms of SHA. And I was happy, Mr. Speaker, when I saw yesterday Sauti ya Mwananchi in Citizen TV. One member contributed that she was being owed 165,000 and SHA paid 145,000. So SHA is working. Let us look for other things that we can do politics with, but not with the lives of Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, let me continue driving my points hot and hard. Mr. Speaker, Article 43(2) says that you can seek medical, and I'm happy Senator Metu, Mr. Speaker, has been writing the notes as I speak so that he can convey it verbatim. Under Article 43(2), seeking of medical emergency is a constitutional right, Mr. Speaker. It's a constitutional right. Which authority do they, and the notorious, I want to agree with Senator Mungatana, that these private hospitals must tell the country which law are they using to detain the dead bodies and the people who have recovered. The small claims court, which senior counsel is familiar, they can pursue their dead recovery as a civil proceedings. Mr. Speaker, even the other day we saw the Tuju case, Mr. Speaker, I was also shocked equally, because a bank loan is a civil matter. It should be pursued in a civil manner, Mr. Speaker. And if, for example, Senator Metu fails to pay a civil debt, then you can commit him to civil jail and do the recovery. Mr. Speaker, you are one of the senior lawyers of the UDA and a legal practitioner, and my former attorney in my other matters when I was fighting the other regime, and also a senior counsel. I still want to thank him also for coming within 2 minutes, Mr. Speaker. He had killed 2 charges. Within 2 minutes, senior counsel Okongo Mugeni. In fact, I'm wondering why is he still a senator? He should be the Chief Justice or the governor of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. And you remember, because you are on record, Mr. Speaker. You are on record, Mr. Speaker. So this issue, it is a civil matter. Even looking at the Tuju case with the bank, it's a civil matter, Mr. Speaker, where police should not even be involved, Mr. Speaker. We must tell ourselves we should obey the rule of law. Article 10 on national values and principles of good governance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this matter, and you know doctors took what we call Hippocratic oath to protect lives, not to get money. I am not against doctors, Mr. Speaker. They are my good friends. I know a number of my friends, Mr. Speaker, who own private hospitals. We value what they do for this country. But there is no justification to detain a dead body of unpaid bill. You can pursue, and the courts have ruled as a civil case, as a civil recovery of debt, Mr. Speaker. You must, Mr. Speaker. You must. I know you have a 10-work, I know that this HEC hospital in Bomet. It's a good hospital. But God forbid if somebody, you pursue a civil matter. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of my law lecturer, Mr. Speaker, who did me civil litigation, Professor Nixon Sifuna, for the landmark ruling last year in 2025, When a border rider, Mr. Speaker, I'll give the House the full citation for the purposes of answer. When a border rider, Mr. Speaker, moved to court, called Moses Mutua and another, because the wife had passed on, he had paid 250,000, he had paid 650,000, Mr. Speaker. The bill had escalated from 2.6 million to 3.3 million by Mata Hospital, Mr. Speaker. And the citation of that case was Moses Mutua and another versus registered trustees of Mercy Kenya and Mata Hospital, Mr. Speaker. And in 2025, September 29, the distinguished, my law lecturer, Professor Nixon Sifuna, delivered a ruling that has set the president, Mr. Speaker. And he declared the following, that it is immoral, un-African, illegal, unconstitutional, an abuse of dignity of humans to detain a dead body, yet it can be recovered through a civil proceedings, Mr. Speaker. I want to advise our private sector hospitals, even public, that they should hire lawyers if they don't have. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud that when the history of this House will be written, Senator Cherargei will be among the colleague leaders who stood for the downtrodden, Mr. Speaker. Who stood with this law, Mr. Speaker. Because it is very important, even if you look at another cases, Mr. Speaker, the case precedent that has been established, the famous Kinoru versus Abib Hospital in petition 512, over unlawful confinement, Mr. Speaker. Why do we leave our patients? Mr. Speaker, you see politicians on Christmas or during Ramadan Kareem walking to hospitals and say, I have released, detained medical people who have been paid, Mr. Speaker. They just work. Why are we living, Mr. Speaker, for what is this word? There is a word they use for this word where you go and do favor. You find the Nairobi governor walks into Mbagati Hospital and say, I have released. Mr. Speaker, as if it is a favor. It is not. It is a constitutional right. When will we stop politicians, my colleague, from walking to hospital and telling people, I have released you? They are not Jesus Christ. It is the, oh, sorry.
Senator Cherargei, you will have 8 minutes remaining when the House resumes to conclude on your contribution to this bill. Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 18th of March, 2026 at 9:30 a.m.
So let's open the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 1. It starts with Raphael Tuju. Oh, ye Raphael. He's here. He's the former Secretary General of Jubilee, former Executive Secretary, if I'm not wrong, of Azimio, former Cabinet Secretary without portfolio. In fact, when we issued that poster yesterday, somebody said you should have called him former Cabinet Secretary without portfolio, because that's what he was. Raphael, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Physically exhausted.